better, it's just getting worse. They'll stick you up for all your cheddar.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Rants and Tangents Podcast with Daryl Smith Jr.
Shay Love.
And Ray Parker.
And hey, Shay, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Life is good, baby. I woke up this morning.
How
Super
about that
fantastic.
fight? Super fantastic. Yeah, if you woke up, that's absolutely super fantastic. Real quick, Ray, let's talk about that fight. Since, you know, we're there, Shay didn't participate in our fight night extravaganza.
I like the build up to it. That was interesting.
The build-up was quality, and that's what made me want to watch the fight.
That's what it's supposed to
Doesn't
do.
ever take me to that point.
It does its
Most
job.
times
Why
when it
not?
comes to sports.
You don't like violent
Stuff
sports?
Like that. No, any sports. Honestly, it's just
not your thing.
it's not my thing.
Respect.
So,
No sports is you like no sports at all?
like really my thing? No.
I mean, like
I like entertain
tennis,
stuff. No.
Nothing.
Figure skating.
No.
Gymnastics.
Not really. No.
I can get down with some gymnastics.
I mean, I'll watch it sometimes, but again, it has to have something that's like.
Simone Biles. Yeah, I'm good.
I watch
I
gymnastics.
act like I got her name like that.
I watch volleyball. I watch
You watch
tennis.
volleyball? Like presently?
If it's on, I'll watch it.
Oh.
I watch tennis. Of course, football, basketball. I stopped watching baseball. That's it.
Well, last night Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Ray, I'm asking you, do you think the fight lived up to the hype?
Absolutely. I thought it was an amazing fight. It was the boxer versus the puncher. Classic. I thought Tyson Fury put on a hell of a show. I thought Deontay Wilder served up to his true nature. He's a puncher. He showed why he's a puncher. And, I mean, the only thing I was disappointed about was the outcome. I felt like Tyson Fury clearly won every round of the fight except the ones he got knocked down in. But other than that, every round was won decisively. And yet they were somehow awarding rounds to Deontay Wilder and befuddled. But overall, it was a good performance by the fighters. I thought it was a spirited effort. Yeah.
I thought it was a real good fight. Like, my reaction to it was not that it wasn't a good fight. Because I posted, that's whack.
Yeah.
The fight itself was not whack.
No,
The
not
fight was a good fight. Like, from start to finish, it was an entertaining
I
fight.
thought so, too.
I was in it. I was really into
1
it.
through 12.
But from a former fighter's perspective, from a fighter's perspective, Deontay Wilder, he really can't fight.
No.
At least he can't box.
He's non-conventional. He said it in his post-fight. Like, in his post-fight interview, he was like, I know people criticize me for not being a traditional boxer.
I don't necessarily need you to be a traditional boxer in a sense. Maybe I don't even know what a traditional boxer is. But what I need you to do if you're a boxer is be able to jab and be able to not telegraph in the literal sense all of your punches.
Yo.
Like, Shay, you may not understand, but have you ever been in a fight? Like a fist fight?
I mean, when I was a child.
Privilege.
Yeah. I'm not know about that life. But no, it's when you train to fight, you train to see what a punch looks like when it's coming. You train to see body movements and things like that to where to look. I look at shoulders, I look at waist, I don't look at head.
Right.
Deontay Wilder, first of all, he's 6'7". Tyson Fury is 6'9". Tyson Fury is like 250. Deontay Wilder was like 212. That's lean as hell for a 6'7" guy.
Hell yeah.
Tyson Fury was so much faster than Deontay Wilder. It was freaking mind-blowing. How slow
It was clear.
is freaking Deontay Wilder? Like, how slow can you be, bro?
I wouldn't even say the fact that he's slow. I think it's just the way that he throws his punches.
They so slow.
So wide and slow.
How is your jab slow?
Yeah, it's
his
terrible.
jab look like it comes in two pieces. If you're watching the video, it go. If you're watching on Facebook Live or Instagram, it's like a boom boom. It's not just a smooth punch. It's a boom boom. It's in two
like it's uncomfortable
pieces.
for him to throw.
Right.
Like it's just like a hard punch for him to throw.
And why I really feel like Tyson Fury won is because Round 1, round 2, he won. It can be debatable, round 2 or round 3 or whatever.
After that.
Outside of the 2 knockdown rounds, you can maybe give Deontay Wilder 1 round. 2 rounds is a stretch. It's a push. Dog. Tyson Fury, this big, okey-doke, sloppy body white man, whipped his ass. And I want to be clear, when I'm saying whipped ass, it's not like a street ass whipping. I'm talking about a boxing ass whipping.
Absolutely.
He was tagging him the fuck up. And when you look at the numbers, and see how few punches they threw, period, but see the difference in landing, it lets you
Deontay lets me break 20%.
How, Sway?
Like 17%,
like, what are you doing?
It was
17%.
It's just like, come on, dude.
Yo, but that's why people stop respecting boxing. You cannot have it be that a judge of 3 judges, one says Deontay Wilder won. Nobody else who watched that fight agrees.
No.
That's how you lose right there. What I could be aligned with, and it would really, really be a push, I would want to have to see your card, is the tie. Yeah. 1 judge tie, 1 judge Tyson, 1 judge Wilder. The tie, I'm like...
That was a push.
Yeah, I mean, how many rounds did you give? Which rounds did you give to Wilder? Because where... I mean, the knockdowns, the 8-10 rounds, okay,
I don't
but
see it.
The math still don't add up.
As soon as they said it was a split decision, I said the fix is in.
Dog, as soon as they said the first one... The first Cardi Red said Wilder won. I said it's gonna be a draw. Yeah, because there's no way the other 2 judges gonna say Wilder won.
What the hell was the split? A knockdown does not say he won the fight. It just means he won the round.
He won a round. You lose a point.
Like, people have a short memory. They'll see a knockdown. It was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Tyson Fury was out in the 12th round. That shit was, man, he got hit with a fucking
It was
sledgehammer.
glorious. And that's the part of what made the fight glorious. Because it wasn't like Wilder was just getting washed and not trying. He still fought. You get 2 knockdowns in 2 separate rounds, kudos. And Shay, you don't watch it, you didn't see it, you can see it online. Actually, let me show it to you real quick. Let me show you this freaking knockdown. I keep wanting to say knockout.
He hit it with a right straight and a left hook. I thought it was over.
So vicious.
He hit him so hard, everybody jumped.
Just watch this. This is the fight real quick. Shay gonna watch it while we keep talking about it. Look at this hook, and then when he's going down, he gets hit with another hook. Boom! Like, God damn!
Left, right, good night.
I'm like, yo, he is done, son. Yeah. He's done. But then look at this big white hook get his big old ass right back up. I'm like, what?
Hell yeah.
That's that. I never really knew much about Tyson Fury, but I tell you what, I respect him. I respect that guy. Yep. He got his ass right back up.
Got up and
still then he sleep.
And still with the ass.
He got up.
And
then he was whipping ass. And that's why I kind of lost respect. See, for Wilder, the lead up to it and the things he was talking about, that's all my wheelhouse. I love it. Talk about the black people. Talk about, do the whole Radio Raheem thing.
I don't like that shit. I ain't like none of it.
I loved all that. Talk that talk. Because no matter what platform you're on, take advantage of it.
Right.
I'm for it. But to talk that talk, I do like how they was humbled together at the end. That was fun.
Yeah, they was cool with each other.
To not fucking be aggressive after that. At least the 7th round, whatever round when he got that first knockdown.
The 9th round.
The 9th round. Fine. I didn't respect that either. But the 12th round, when you gotta know you losing. Apparently
he didn't.
He didn't.
I saw the post-fight conference. He was like losing. He wasn't going for the knockout, but if it came, it came.
No,
he didn't go into that 12th round with the knowledge that he was losing. That was the interesting.
And that's why he needs a new corner. He needs a new trainer.
He needs a trainer.
He needs a new corner. They failed him
miserably.
But that's enough about that. Everybody who saw it gets it.
Why didn't you like the beginning, like
the press conference?
Yeah.
Because I don't like tagging the easy issues to get people interested in the fight.
Why do you feel like that's an easy issue?
Look how many niggas was passing that shit around social media. It's like the easy talking points. Everybody got a think piece about it and all this shit all of a sudden, in which nobody really interested in the fight. Nobody knew who Deontay Wilder was before that. So him
just
saying
his name.
So him saying that got people interested in the fight, and it turned into the black man beating up the white man, where it was just like that's not the issue. And the way it even came about was bullshit. Like with Deontay Wilder spoke on in a press conference when they was arguing about. All Tyson Fury said was his family, he's from Great Britain, but his family's been like fighters for 200 years. Mm-hmm. And what Deontay Wilder said, my family been fighting, my people been fighting for 400 years. Like, nigga, you just turned this into a race. It had nothing to do with, so it's just like you did that, but it was to sell the fight. It wasn't to, like, don't get me wrong, he's always been socially conscious in a way, but it's not, it turned into using that, I think, to garner more interest. And it worked. Because, like I said, I saw people on social media, nobody said nothing about the fight, but everybody talking about that moment he had with Radio Raheem and shit like that, and I get it, but that shit was theatrics to me. It wasn't really sincere, so that's the reason I ain't really like it.
All right, well, good fight. I guess I hear you, Ray, but I was here for it. I want everybody to take every opportunity to get in front of all those lights, all those cameras, to speak on topics that are still relevant. And everything he said that I heard was still relevant. Mm-hmm. Everything that he said that I heard made sense, and so I was there for it.
Yeah, I really actually enjoyed The Reporter. I felt like, not the initial one where he's like in the guy's face, but after the reporter came to him, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed that the reporter came and tried to clarify. Everybody knows that he knew what he meant. Yeah. But he asked it for a specific reason. He's a reporter. It's what he got to do.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
and
I
really does
enjoyed
that all
the
time too. He's like one of those type of reporters. Like, I be watching him cover the sports, and he'll ask the question that I'm not gonna call it clickbait, but he asks those tough questions that get a reaction out of somebody. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, he always asks those questions. So, and he's good at it. He's a great journalist, I think. So I thought it was interesting, but I knew it was the solo fight.
Great journalism. I wish you guys would have read.
I did read it.
You read it?
You talking about that one with the police officer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read it. I read majority of it.
It was long as crap.
Yeah,
It was
I read majority
it was a lot of filler.
So let me tell you something, Shay and Ray. If ever you're going to send a link that we should read for the show, never tell me it's going to be long. Because I'm not even going to click it then. Tell me, read it, and I'll read it. And then once I'm reading it, I'm like, this is long as shit. And then I'll make a second executive decision during the course of my reading on how far I'm going to take it. But once you tell me beforehand, you kind of made me check out.
Because I couldn't believe how long it was. And like how long I didn't even finish reading it. And I sent it to a cop that I know because I was so intrigued by it. I wanted to hear his spin on it. And he told me how it ended. Because I just like...
So how did it end? Because I didn't.
You didn't. It was too much. He sued and won.
Oh,
he sued and won. So story.
Oh shit.
New cop responds to a call that came in. A woman called and said that they need to send somebody over really quickly. The guy has a gun. Then she hung up. The dispatcher tries to call her back, but in the interim, she puts it out there. Mm-hmm. The cop that responded, he's a new cop, and he knows there's a gun on the scene. But in the meantime of the cop getting there and the dispatcher trying to call the lady back, the lady sees the call, calls back. The guy is her ex, and he wants to be more in his son's life, and it's not working out. He's suffering with anxiety and depression. The gun's not loaded. He took the round out the clip. He said, I'm going to wave this in front of the cops so they can kill me. Black guy. Shit. White cop arrives. This shit should be a movie. It was so good to me. So the cop gets there. Suicide by cop. And the cop, he's an ex-Marine, but he knew something was wrong. He knew he didn't feel threatened. This guy didn't seem intimidating to him. And he saw the gun, but the guy never raised the gun. Mm-hmm. But the dispatcher never told him that the gun might not be loaded, because somebody can call and say the gun's not loaded, but the cop will never really know. You know what I'm saying? But just that information would have helped. The cop is assuming that the gun is loaded, but he wasn't going to shoot this guy. And later on, he says, I didn't want to shoot him because he seemed like a guy needed to be calmed down, not shot at. He's a new cop. So 2 other cops respond within, I want to say, 10 seconds of them responding. The guy was dead, shot in the head.
Not by the cop though.
Not by that cop, but by two other cops responded.
They like, fuck that.
Wait.
Within 10 seconds.
So there's a cop already there.
Yeah.
He don't buck, but the other cops.
But so when they got there, the guy lifted the gun up and started waving it at them. Okay. So one of them shot him. Then a cop got fired. Wow. So as I'm reading this, I'm like, oh shit.
He got fired? I ain't reading.
So as I'm reading, I'm like,
the one that didn't shoot.
The one that didn't shoot got fired. I'm telling y'all, it was so good. The one that didn't shoot got fired.
Damn.
And the reason was they said that he failed to respond in a hostile situation. He froze in the presence of danger, and he endangered his fellow cops. Even though they found out the gun wasn't loaded, yet and still, that's what he got fired for. So he felt like he was wrongfully fired.
Yeah. Sure.
And the day that he got the letter, I think it was like a month after the incident happened, the day that he got the letter, and they said it was self-explanatory, and he read it, and it was just saying he got fired. The next day, the lieutenant and like the chief of police or whatever did a press conference and said all the cops are fine, everybody's back on the job. But this guy has a letter in his hands that says he's fired. Mm-hmm. But he felt like in that moment that they were just trying to cover this up so it wouldn't turn into this racial thing. A black guy shot by a white cop. And in this town, they don't really have a lot of... Apparently, the cops don't even have to unholster their gun, so this was a really crazy situation. Yeah. So they just tried to sweep it under the rug. But again, he felt like he was wrongfully fired, so he tried to get lawyers to represent him. Nobody would represent him in his hometown. So this is just a fucked up situation. It took, I don't remember where it was, but it took a lawyer... West Virginia. So a lawyer in Pittsburgh was reading about it, and they were like, oh no, we got to represent this guy. So they came down to represent him, and their idea was, if you fire this cop, the precedent might be to other cops. You gotta shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta shoot.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. So they so he ultimately ended up, he sued and he won. But it was really interesting.
It sounds like really if I'm being calculated.
It was good. It was really good.
It sounds like if I'm being calculative, and it's a dangerous quote unquote situation, even though nothing comes of it from the perpetrator or alleged perpetrator, I'm in the wrong. So yeah, I might as well be aggressive and shoot. Dude, how many times do we see white people who have done mass shootings get arrested without incident? With their guns, taken to McDonald's that's still en route. Burger King that's still en route. Picked up in the woods, that's the guy that killed the two state troopers in Pennsylvania. Like over and over again we see they just get picked up. They be having guns? He can try to de-escalate. Isn't that supposed to be the first step? Let me talk to you.
I thought that's what it sounded like he was doing his job. And that's why I didn't really get crazy. I'm like, we have a cop that's actually doing his job. This is great.
We supposed to hold him up.
I didn't finish it, yo. I'm so mad.
It was so good. And then the way the article does it, they just say, before you find out which cop it was, they talk about him being interviewed by the guy's lawyers, but you still don't know they're his lawyers. And they're like, we're here about the firing of the police officer. And I'm thinking, at that moment, oh, wow, they fired the guy that actually shot him. Sure. That's crazy. And then they go to say that it was the guy that didn't. I was like, oh, wow, this is crazy. Wow. It was really, really interesting.
They set a new mark with that shit.
And even at his precinct, they called him all types of cowards before he got fired. Like,
he was military trained, mind you. This dude was from the military, went to Afghanistan, everything. So he
ain't got no coward in him.
No, his actually being able to assess a threat is higher than the people that was back in
real life experience. Especially because you said this is a town where they're not used to it.
He's ready for it. Of course he can assess a threat though. He can give that man a chance because
he. And that's what he said. He said he did not feel intimidated by this man in the slightest. He could tell. And at one point the guy said, "Just shoot me." He was like, obviously, this is like suicide by cop. Obviously, in his mind. And
who just wants to catch? Even if you're a cop, even if you feel like you're doing a justified kill, who just wants to catch a body?
Them.
Who just wants to have that on their conscience?
Right.
Them.
But he said he was like, ultimately at the end of the day, if it came to it, I'm going home. If
Right.
I have to kill this man, I will kill this man. But
I mean, that's a different.
But I don't want
Right.
to.
That's the thing.
You know what these things can do.
yeah,
Wow.
it was really good. It was
Wow,
really
damn, I'm
good.
mad I didn't finish reading it.
That's
all I can
crazy.
say.
We're about to switch from that to talking about sex, baby. You and me. That's the Rants and Tangents Podcast for you.
This shit go
Which one y'all want to start with? Sex referrals, tag team matches,
We can
cheating,
start with
married
referrals
edition.
because apparently that's like a, well, not apparently, but from the conversation we had last night, that was like a bizarre thing. Like
The referrals you guys
the
were
referral
talking about?
side,
Okay.
because I don't know, it's not that popular, but it has happened. Like it's happened. I saw it happen a few times.
I feel like it probably happens more times than people care to admit because it'll I don't know, it'll tarnish somebody's character or
Of
something.
course.
So
I mean,
I
everybody's
think it
still
happens a lot.
It happens. It's a thing.
Yes.
I can speak first-hand experience. Sex referrals is real on both ends. I've had it be that a person that I'm cool with has boasted about the sex game of a female, and I've wanted to, that's what I'm going to call the referral, and I wanted to hit it, and I hit it, and he didn't lie. And I've had that happen several times, and I've had it be that a female has spoken to her friends about my sex, and I knocked off her friends multiple times, and that's your fault, not my fault. I was a hoe.
Ho.
You know what I mean?
It's Christmas
I was
time.
hoeing.
You gotta lean into your hoe.
You know what I'm saying? Don't throw me the oop.
Right.
I'm gonna
I'm
dump
gonna
that
take
shit.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's definitely a thing. But it seemed like the ladies were
Are
trying to
comfortable with
downplay it, making it seem like it wasn't a thing. Like y'all don't talk about sex as much, if not more, than men.
No,
y'all
we
don't
talk about
the
sex
specifics
a lot. We definitely
of
talk about
the
the
sex.
specifics.
Y'all go into detail.
Like
We do.
I think women probably go into greater detail than men do.
We do.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's the referral. Now, it's not you telling your friends, so you homegirl, you should hit it, or you should let him hit it, but that's what I'm calling the referral.
No, I'm talking about a literal
That's a
referral.
referral.
Like,
Well,
yo,
there are literal
this
referrals.
nigga,
I don't know that I've gotten a literal.
I got a literal referral before.
I've gotten literal referrals from males. I'm saying I don't know that I've ever had a woman literally tell her friend, "Listen, you should have sex with him."
I've done it before.
Oh,
that happens.
I've done it
speak
before.
on it.
I just, because if it's a guy that I don't really, not that I don't care about him, but it's like, we're never going anywhere
Yeah,
beyond
of
this.
course.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's the alley-oop.
Cheer.
Sharing is caring. You know?
But they don't,
We
I
need
mean,
to
I
do
don't
more
know
of that.
what might have happened, but they'll be like, oh my God, I would never. And I'll be like,
And
girl, I
she
don't
still
care.
winds
If
up.
Right.
you do.
Let him in the draws.
Right.
I don't know why I'm saying
She's uncomfortable with telling you she wants to give him the draws, but she's going to give him the draws if she
Yeah.
gets the
Why not?
opportunity to. I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Especially if this is
People-
we're in the space of casual sex.
But people aren't that comfortable with their sexuality. They don't want to be labeled. And in this society,
That's a thing.
that's a popular thing. So I get that people are trying to save face and save name. And I respect that. But like you said, we lean into the hoeing. So if you're going to lean into it, sometimes you got to take the title that comes with
Lean
it.
hard
If
into the
if
hoeing.
you've been out here before, I don't put nothing past nothing. So
No, sex referrals is a thing, and I do think. So we haven't done a would you rather in a long time, and so the sex referral topic made me think of a would you rather. So, would you rather have sex with a person who you've gotten a referral about, and you have were told that you're going to get some great sex, male or female, whatever? Or have sex with a person who you don't know shit about. Never seen a dick print, never seen a pussy, a camel toe, don't know nothing. Go.
I can't say it's a rather.
It's a would you rather.
I
So
know.
you have to answer.
I'm trying to.
Yes.
This is equally
Mm.
enticing.
I think they're equally enticing, but okay. Ooh, tricky. I think that
I got my answer.
I would.
Thrill of surprises.
Not for me. Nope. Give me that. I know
You
what it's
want the
going to be.
guarantee?
Yeah, I'm talking about.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about it. I don't just because that nigga pleased you,
And that's the thing.
doesn't mean he's gonna please me.
And vice versa.
And I think that's more true for a woman than it is for a man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Because
I could do that and it just be like, oh, that was lit to you,
This
kind
will
of
make me
thing.
have a piggyback question for you, Shay. So when women are having these conversations, do you know your girlfriend's body? When I say that, I mean like, do you know?
Do I know what they enjoy?
What she enjoys and what will make her come? Because it's going to be different. You know, your woman.
For the most
it's
part,
going to be
yeah.
different things. So.
Yeah.
So then you would know if y'all have similar
y'all are
orgasm
very like
traits.
detailed like that.
Very detailed.
Damn.
Yeah,
Very
I
detailed.
can't tell you what makes Clarence ejaculate. I wouldn't
Hell
want
no.
to know what makes Clarence
This is a lot of
But
conversations there.
But a lot of it, though, a
I'm
lot
with it.
of what makes
not for
women
us.
come.
I'm with y'all.
Go ahead.
It's different because a lot of what makes women come isn't necessarily always a physical thing. It is.
Sure.
It's
I know.
it's a lot of other stuff that goes into it.
Yeah.
It's not just this
Sometimes you talking to her.
all the time.
Yeah. I
It's
can
not.
dagger,
most of the
dagger,
time.
dagger, dagger,
Yeah,
dagger. I
it's
call
not.
it dagger, dagger.
It's not. It's
See-
not. It's literally never that for me. Like that will
You
never
don't,
get it.
You know, like the
Ever.
drill. The drill team for me is just like it's not even, that's fucking to me. It's just like, I'm having fun right now. But the whole act of, that's why it's always a different experience for me. Because some chicks you just want to fuck. And it's just like, I can't wait to get this shit over with so I can move on. I didn't really care to cherish this experience. I don't know if you enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So you gotta hit her with the dagger, 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 dagger. One time, get her up out of the way, and be like, yo, nigga, I'll bust her fucking ass. But it don't even be the case half the
Right,
time. You
we'll
just
have
feel like you did it because you
entirely
done drilled her the fuck out.
It's just I wanted to see those big old titties in my face.
Right, well, I want to see the ass shit. That's it. It's,
Whatever.
It's a selfish endeavor.
All right, so Ray, what's your answer?
My preference,
Oh, yeah.
I like the thrill of surprise. Like the thrill of the chase is another level of satisfaction for me. So like that, I don't really know what I'm
Chase
getting.
the referral.
Not the chase, but the, you might have to chase a referral.
Yeah,
But
she's just what your homie. She might not want to fuck. The
yeah, I
whole
know
group.
that's what I'm saying.
We've had home chicks
I
say,
know.
I can't fuck you because I fucked your friend. And then you fuck my other friend.
And bitch,
you
I
wanna
don't
give
know
me a
that
hand
nigga
job?
like that.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
She just let me hit.
It's just like, yo, I don't know that nigga like that. I don't even rock with boy. Who?
Yeah, I would definitely lie.
Damn.
Who the fuck is Ray?
I don't fucking know that.
What are you talking about?
Listen, I'm
Y'all have
shaking.
bitches together.
Certain
I
shit
shit
on-
bitches with all types of people.
Certain shit, I don't give a fuck. I will fucking lie. I was like, I don't even know that nigga like
No,
that. I'm
who
sorry.
the fuck are you talking about? I don't fuck with no short people.
That nigga light skin.
Yeah, you don't know what are you talking about?
But anyway,
I'm different.
Hate it.
I feel you, Ray. I'm gonna challenge yours too. So you talking about you like to throw a surprise. So what if the surprise is whack yams? Because I have had whack
I had
yams.
some whack yams too. But
Ladies,
What is
see,
a wacky yam?
Oh, I can let Ray answer, and then I'll tell you. I can give you
First
some
and foremost-
examples.
Seriously, I just like really
First and
am interested
foremost,
to know.
a corpse. I don't give a fuck how good your coochie is. If you're not interactive,
Facts.
if you're not into the whole ordeal, you're out.
And don't make it seem like it's 100% my job to make you into it.
Right.
Bitch,
Like,
you decide. Excuse me, ladies. I don't.
you
I'm
decided
trying
to open your
not
legs,
curses my
be
shit.
here
Not
for
to
the-
say bitches.
be here
But
for
you
the show.
decided to be here.
Let's do it.
There's no forcing happening
participation.
around here.
And I'm not just happy to fuck. Like some chicks used to think that niggas just happy to get some pussy. Like no.
We
I
got
did.
2 hands.
We're
I can
sexually,
push this shit up. I
or
can
we're
use
just
both.
sexually active fully at this point. So it's not. I'm not excited that much just to be getting some. So you're not doing me a favor, per se. So I'm gonna say
It's
the
never
chicks
a
that
favor.
just lay there like a corpse. That's definitely whack sex. And then some chicks just don't stay wet long. Some chicks cannot maintain moisture, and you can do whatever you want to them, but they come one time or whatever, they get theirs and they are done. Desert storm out this bitch, and they really a corpse after that. It's just like, nigga, get yours, cause I got mine. Like, bitch, this show ain't over. Like, especially if I'm in cruise control, cause it ain't.
That's the thing.
It's not like, you know, nigga, you pray for the cruise control, especially when you got something to prove to somebody, like a chick you've been wanting to get out of the way, and you like, fuck, I'm about to. And then you in cruise control and she get hers out of the way and she ready to throw the whole fucking experience in the trash. You're just like, bitch, what happened? Like, you just put your legs behind your head, now you just laying here. Like, no, that shit whack now. So it's just like, But dryness is just a thing. If it don't maintain moisture, I'm sorry.
So,
your box is wet.
okay. I just want to. Okay, cruise control, this whole concept, and then a woman just being like, I'm done. What do you do when you get yours, but she hasn't gotten hers?
I'll do anything.
I feel like I've heard a different conversation from you, though. I feel like I've heard you say, you better get yours, because I'm going to get mine.
That's because when you fucking a thotty, that's the mentality. When you fucking your wife, that's not the mentality. I have two different types of sexual experiences.
If your wife wanted that bad yams, I feel like you would have known that before you married your wife and like.
You just turned this into two separate conversations. My wife would not have whack yams, therefore she wouldn't be my wife. But I'm saying if she was out of the show, she's gonna do more.
But I'm saying you could be fucking the thought, and she would be the one that once she done. But you would do the same thing to her. So
you saying why am I offended? The same reason she'd be offended. What do you mean? She got every right to be offended by the fact that I got out on her, and I got the right to be offended too.
I feel like you just shouldn't. If it's a mutual thing, you just say, okay.
Yeah, bitch, you got me. I'm
gotta be
faster
faster next time.
Bitch, you still got me.
No, I don't agree.
It happens from time to time, but I'm not going above and beyond for nobody. It's just like, yeah, it's a race. Like, if you don't get yours, sorry, bitch.
Well, Chris, you were being right different. But I'll tell you what some whack yams are based on my experience. Definitely, I have had the experience with multiple women that is usually, in my experience, has been 3 and done. She come 3 times and it's game over. Her shit is locking. It's peace, nigga. Too bad for you. And no, I'm not sucking your dick. Huh?
Oh.
What the fuck are you talking about?
If a chick tell me she ain't gonna suck your man, your just got wet. I don't even want the whole.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it. But still. If you don't offer if you don't.
Yes,
that's a cancellation.
If you shut down,
that's cancellation.
Because that is a thing. Some women have a cap on how many times they can come, and they can't. They shit runs dry. You got to do something, baby. All right, so that's whack yams. I've had some yams that were like lukewarm, and I've compared it to fucking a warm bucket of water. It was just like, I don't want to talk about my penis. But I'll just say, for the most part, my penis is going to fit. And my penis works. It gets the job done. And so I'm saying that to say, it's not that her vagina was so big or that my penis is so skinny that it wasn't around it. Dog.
Oh, you talking about the hot dog hallway theater?
Dog, yeah, it was like...
Some bitches just ain't got no walls, man.
And it was just warm. And just...
Yeah, some bitches ain't got no walls.
It wasn't... I mean, it was wet, too. And it was just like...
Some chicks ain't got no walls.
Yeah, it's just kind of whack.
It becomes like a hollow pit. You like,
yeah,
what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, it's like I'm in the abyss. You know what I mean? Just there.
It's like her womb.
That's whack.
No, when women are
about to
aroused,
deliver.
they expand a little bit.
Obviously,
like it expands.
but she
Sometimes
expands a
somebody
lot.
just expands a lot.
Yeah,
That shit was like a
no
balloon.
baby.
Like you like
Get that Kegel shit popping.
You like this?
Fuck that.
It'll never be better than it was though. She was born with that. Like nothing happened to make it that way. It wasn't childbirth. Wasn't a bigger penis
Well, she
than
need
yours.
to get a guy
It's
with a
just
soda
what
can
it was.
dick.
They probably, if she wanted to correct that, she would have to get some type of surgery or something. That's just her natural.
Kegels.
It really doesn't, like our bodies, our vaginas are probably one of the most elastic things ever. It goes right back to form, so it's not ever gonna, it was just like that. Her body was just meant to be there.
But that happened, that's common, because I thought it was like a fake, I thought it was fake. When dudes would say that, like, she ain't got no walls.
No,
I'm like,
bro.
what are you talking about?
That shit real life.
Until I ran into a chick with no walls. I was like,
And you swinging around in there like, what the fuck?
Yo, it's hollow in here.
Like,
and then you really do question yourself, like, damn, is it me? But the other 40.
and then some other whack yams is the hand stoppers. Like, hand stopping can be fun. You know, when she put her hand on your thighs or your hips or your stomach, like, hold on, nigga, slow down, like, whatever. That's cool. That's cool for a second.
It's cute at
It's
first.
cute, right? It plays to my pride, like, yeah, a big dick, whatever. But after a while, I was like, bitch, I'm trying to fuck.
Right.
Like, we having sex.
It's
Like, what's happening?
Dick, half a dick, whole dick. Hey.
That's whack.
It's like, bitch.
And so, whack
far.
yams is not just 100% about the quality of the vagina. It's about the whole experience.
Right, absolutely.
And women who are not active about, another whack thing is, I don't need a performance, but you're just not going to be in here actively working to be quiet. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly.
Working to be quiet, like making sure you don't make a peep. Like, what's the
Let
point?
it out.
Ain't nobody in here. Who you? Your parents upstairs? No. What's happening? Like, that's whack. That shit turns me off.
Like your parents in the next room.
I'm not with that shit. This is a lot of
dang.
whack pussy. And I want women to make sure y'all understand, just because you have a vagina don't mean it's great. See, like, for a man, you got to take into account your length and your width and your stamina or whatever.
I don't even think men,
and I think
I
women
think
feel like just because they have a vagina, you know, oh yeah, my pussy's good. Trina said it, so yeah, I'm going to sing that song. No, baby. Chances are, ladies, your pussy is just average. It's you that makes your pussy more than what it is. It's just a vagina.
9 times out of 10 is average. It's that little extra mile that separates you from the pack.
Vagina.
What makes a penis whack? Because we ain't gonna just talk about vagina.
Sure, what makes a penis whack? I don't know.
Shay.
Never, examined the penis and like, this is not popping, bro. I don't know.
Look at a porn like, nigga, you are not. You are not beating that pussy.
Oh,
properly.
no, then I'm lying. I have done that. I have done that.
Do that be the homemade Jones? You like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, like,
doing?
bro, you waste this
You
quality.
wasting good pussy.
I mean, I don't know if the pussy good, but she looked like she got some good pussy.
If it's
Wasted
the
it.
oils and you ain't, go ahead, Shay.
At one set, if a guy is just like, if he's overly confident, it bothers me. Like, I want you to be confident, but you arrogant about it, and if at first sight I'm not impressed, or even not even at first sight, if I'm impressed at first sight and then you don't know what to do with it, it's devastating.
I can understand that.
I don't like a guy that doesn't make noise. Don't be like, like, I don't like that.
What?
Yeah, that's not
That's interesting.
It's a thing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why I just said that's interesting. I don't. Never mind.
That's the thing.
I had for a long time. I had trouble with noise because I didn't understand
talked
what my
about it.
role was in making any sounds.
And then you get values.
I don't feel like it should just, whatever sound comes out your mouth, don't muffle that shit. Don't hold
It's
it.
not natural sound that comes
we
out.
had this conversation.
You
We gonna
grunt,
put in
I
the shorts.
admit. You grunt.
Men have been
I
masturbating like
grunt.
ninjas for all our lives, so we are trained to be super quiet.
Hate it.
I know, but
Hate it.
I had to learn to be vocal.
Just let it out.
Just let it out.
Wesley Pipes was the introduction to actually talking to chicks, like really know how to talk dirty to them. Because I didn't even realize the volume.
I was watching something.
I
They
just thought
said
it was
the
funny.
same thing. It was Wesley Pipes.
Wesley Pipes, because I didn't see any volume.
And then I watched Wesley Pipes. I was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was
that's what he said.
He talking the whole video. And he narrates his own videos, but he makes it a whole nother experience. You just like, yo, this nigga is wow. It'd be funny to this shit. So you just like,
funny.
you don't really.
How you feel about that? You want to laugh while you masturbate and watching porn? I don't, but I will.
don't, but it's funny. I don't even know if I can masturbate while watching Wesley. It's just more of a just funny. You just learning shit, and that shit is just interesting. But yeah, go ahead, Jay.
I don't like when a guy is like just focused on one position all the time, like
Hit it from the back.
all the time, and it's not even just. It don't even have to be one position. Just always you have to have my ass in your face every time, all the time. It gets on my nerves. I don't like it.
You don't like
it
that?
bothers me. No, not like that. But I mean, you always have to see my butt like constantly, like any position. You're like, move this way. And it's just like, dog.
Nigga, I'm not comfortable.
Or a guy. This has happened, and it literally was the last time I ever had sex with this guy. It was the first time it happened, and it was the last time we had sex. We were having sex, and I'm into it. And he's like, if you just stop moving and let me do this way. It was like, okay, done with that. Never doing this with you again. He had a headache or something, and he needed me. Nigga, I didn't know you had a headache. I wouldn't have came over here if you had a fucking headache. But, so that bothers
See, y'all
me.
having a headache and fuck up with yours and her night.
It didn't have to fuck up my night, though. I didn't have to go there. It could have been somewhere else I would have been.
Fucked up your ass.
Yeah, like drawing, dog. Why'd you? Whatever. But that bothers me. Just, I don't, some guys, like, I guess he's a guy that needed to be in total control, and I don't like that. I do like a guy telling me what to do often, but when it's like I can't do anything else, it bothers me. It bothers me.
So to an extent.
Yeah, to an extent. A lot of stuff is just moderation for me. Like, if you have to really be doing something egregious for me to say, fuck this and fuck you too. Yeah, it's just moderation. Just don't be overly this or underly that.
Right.
I guess.
No, I dig that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. But I never used to make noise for a long time. Somebody was like, yo, why you so quiet? Like, you want me to, like, what am I supposed to do? Even when you're about to buzz, that should be like,
hold this shit back.
It's
a pride thing.
Yes, it's over.
It's dumb.
It is. It's foolish pride. It is definitely foolish.
And I feel like you take some of the energy away from sex having to retain those noises or even those grunts.
You're not actively retaining it. It's literally a reaction.
It's almost muscle memory.
It's not like I'm like holding back, like I can't make. No, it's just I never really got into that, so it just be like, yeah. It's over.
And you gotta be comfortable. I don't know if it's the same for women, but for a man to make noise, you have to be.
That gotta be your chick.
Comfortable, yeah.
She gotta be yours. Otherwise, she gonna be telling her girlfriend, "This nigga was moaning."
Or at least that's what we think.
Bitch,
if you moan weird, yeah, we gonna say that.
See,
my
labeling
must be crazy, girl, cause this nigga was moaning and shit.
And that
ain't even the conversation.
I don't want you to think you're gambling.
Like,
on another
bitch.
planet.
She gonna hit her girlfriend's bitch. Let me tell you how I had this nigga moaning. He came in like 5 minutes, girl. Let me tell you. Next thing you know, it's just like, man, see, I ain't tell you. I just kept stroking. See, when I was a young boy, I used to be able to come and keep going. So now it's just like, I come, it's just over.
No,
but back in the
it's
days,
a choice.
I could come and keep going, so you wouldn't have known until I just had this, like, let me stop real quick to switch condoms. But other than that, I was still in the game. Prime real estate here, shorty. I'm home. Don't worry about it.
Man.
No doubt about it.
Yes. Yes. 1,000 times yes.
No doubt about it. I'm still here.
Why not? It's just still hard. Let's get it before he drop the hell.
That's why I'm glad I learned how to have sex. I'm one and done now. Back in the day.
Well, your stamina improved,
No, absolutely.
You don't give a fuck changed.
I really don't give a fuck no
Yeah,
more,
it's like just different. All right, any goals for sex referrals before we move on?
Is it against the rules? Because, again, like, niggas say shit, but are women more protective over their sexual partners than men? Meaning, like, we're very liberal about, like, if it ain't my chick, I'm not going to be mad. Mm-hmm. Like, if you can get the yams, it's yours.
That's a fact.
Are women a little more guarded with their, not their boyfriend, but their recreational penis?
I think so. But I think it's because oftentimes women's recreational penis it's a rare that we just fucking this guy. Like, it's a rare thing. You know what I mean?
Y'all treat y'all non-personals like personals too.
Not necessarily like personals, but some guys I deal with, they my niggas for real. Like, I would have a hard time dismissing them because they're my niggas. Like, we have
But it could be
conversations
community that you just wouldn't share with your girlfriend. Like, he might be fucking up a hoe.
He probably is fucking
Yeah, he could absolutely have sex with other people. Like, how is that a stipulation that he's not?
No, I know that, but he just can't fuck your girlfriend, is what I'm saying.
It's some guys, yeah. He can, it's just certain guys no.
That privilege. How do you earn the dick? Is it better to be on the inside or the outside of that? Because I would still want to be allowed to fuck your friend.
What guy would it?
You know what I'm saying? Like, a chick that's willing to share you, it's like, I'm not willing to share you because I like you too much. It's like, but I would like if you shared me. It's like I don't know. It's like it's a gift and a curse. It's like a double-edged sword. Because men don't mind it. Because men are hoes.
I mean, it only matters to me if I'm into your friend or not. If I'm not into your friend,
don't share me with you.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Nothing. Like, The one
Well,
that
I think if we're going to share, it's not like you can only have this friend but not this friend. It would just be like,
well, I mean,
you can have any friend, it's whatever.
the friend has say so. So
yeah,
I want you
obviously has say so.
to throw me to the one that I might have whispered to you or gave you an inkling that I would like to smash.
So
I don't think I would ever
haven't
do
had
that.
sex
I wouldn't
smash in
ever.
so long.
I don't know. It wouldn't ever be like, don't tell me you want to fuck my friend and expect me to be like, girl, here
Why
we
not?
go.
Because
Because
maybe
I
I'll
don't want
say,
to do
hey,
that.
you know,
You can do whatever you feel, my nigga, but I'm not gonna be in the middle of this shit.
we can have a good time
you.
together.
Nah, fam.
I had one time.
So
right?
quick to say no, but
sharing is caring.
yes.
That's
and,
lit.
and y'all got dressed in front of each other before. Why not just
Let me sample that.
take it a little step further?
'Cause I
And I'm
just
not
don't
asking
want
y'all to
to.
do nothing. Just let me switch back and forth.
No,
Ping pong.
Tag team me
no,
as we transition into tag team.
Nope.
Tag team.
nope.
Yo, hold on. But before we
Nope.
go into this topic, right?
Not with my girlfriend. I might do it with something else.
a long ago, right? This girl I used to deal with. Anyway, I had to cut her off. But later down the line, I ended up messing with her friend. She didn't know it. So me and her get cool again later again. And of course, her and her friend talked about it. She found out about it. Whatever, cool. And she comes at me like, would you be mad if I talked to one of your friends? I was like, no, reach out, hit him up.
Said that.
I gave her his number. I was like, no, go ahead, take his number. And I told him, like, yo, hit the joint, though. She might want to. But I don't know if she did that shit to get a reaction. Because she's like,
Of course
dog,
she
she
did.
keep giving me the runaround, dog. She ain't trying to give me the end.
Yeah, of
I'm
course
like,
she
you thought I liked you. Liked you.
Likes you. Yeah.
No, baby. It don't work like that, darling. Like, sharing
She
is
tried to throw
caring.
this.
This is very liberal.
Here.
Like, I've been looking at your friend the whole time. I was just like, oh, yeah, check him out. Here, go with the number real quick. Matter of fact, I'm telling you calling. I'll link y'all up real quick. I was just like,
I mean, that's a different story. If I stopped dealing with a guy, fair game for everybody.
yeah.
Unless he was like a boyfriend or
No,
something.
yeah, but I think she did it to be spiteful because she was playing with the hole with him. I'm like, I don't know why she playing with the hole because I was in there.
Playing with the hole.
But on to tag teaming. How does tag teaming work? What is it?
What is it, guys?
I have to explain it, right?
Yeah, can you explain it? I want to.
Because
All right.
Understand.
So, tag teaming is basically, from my perspective, I should say. See, I don't really.
It's two ways.
Yeah, it's two different ways.
It's a transfer
Yeah, it's different ways.
and an active way.
So,
Oh, damn.
gangbangs are a thing, but in my mind, gangbangs. A tag team is 3 people, maybe 4 people. 2 girls, 2 guys. Or 2 guys, 1 girl, 2 girls, 1 guy. And it's almost like literally, tag, you're in. And I'm in that pussy. And then I tag, and you're in that pussy. I might be in her mouth. I've never done the porn star shit, you're in her ass, I'm in her vagina. That's
Too
EP
close,
shit.
man. You're too close, man.
Because what if your balls touch my dick?
Yeah.
I don't know how.
We gonna have to
go.
square up at that.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm
That's
gonna
a
handle
fight.
that.
That's a fight.
I don't know how I'm gonna handle
We
that.
gotta rumble,
I don't
bro.
know if I can keep going.
We got rumble, bro.
That's
We gotta rumble this
But so
this ordeal off so it don't get misconstrued.
if I'm gonna just speak my truth, my favorite type of tag teams are the 4 people tag team, 2 guys, 2 girls, you know. And so I'm knocking off one, you're knocking off one,
Tag
and then
team,
tag switch, and then I'm knocking off the one you was just knocking off, and you knocking off the one I was just knocking off, and that's fun. I have done the
House party.
me and another guy and a girl, and that's, you know, can be fun or whatever. I have done you're gonna call it a threesome, but I'm not. I think a threesome is a bit different than a tag team when it's 2 women and a guy or 2 guys and a woman. See, for me, a threesome, we're all fucking. In a tag team, we're not all fucking.
That's like playing pole position. Like
Yeah.
you bet that way, North Pole, South Pole. then we
Exactly.
switch.
We not touching. We not fucking. If it's 2 girls and a guy in a tag team, the 2 girls aren't touching.
Nope.
That's a threesome if they fucking. You know, that's a threesome. That's different. And so, my thing was, what was it really the question? Tag team match sex edition, right? One, and you don't have to remember this is a safe space. You don't have to say if you did or didn't do anything, whatever. But thoughts on tag teams?
I didn't do anything. I've never.
Okay. Well, I have had tag team matches.
What's your thoughts on it though?
And they're awesome. they're fucking
No.
awesome.
It's like, whatever.
Especially if you're a guy getting tag teamed by two girls. It's effing amazing.
Okay, so if there is the one you don't necessarily want is two guys and a girl.
It's not that I don't want it. It's just not
the preferred.
You know, like,
if I had to pick.
Because why I need you here,
what
homie?
Right. So,
If I had to choose.
I'm just thinking of how my mind works. I would certainly tag the guy.
It's
The
for
other
the
guy
girl.
would be like, all right, you two got it. Go. Let's see what the fuck they do. Like, just to see. Because I'm like, all right, we're in this situation. I'm going to have fun with it.
So you want to see if the two guys will do something?
I know they
That's
won't, but it's going to make it
homosexual
very uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes
That's
it
when the whole
uncomfortable.
situation just got
Right, but
real
it's
weird.
just like,
It's like,
so why do we do that one? Two guys and a girl.
You
we
want to
call
know that
we call that a train.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be called a train. But I feel like a train is closer to a gangbang and it should be more like 3 or more guys.
A gangbang is 3 more guys than me.
Yeah, definitely.
But
A
a train
gangbang
would be
train,
two guys.
A gangbang is
I feel like
weird.
a train would be more than two guys.
Yeah, I feel like a train has to be more than 2 guys.
Yeah, because gangbang train, that's the same thing.
Yeah, it's in the same
Yeah,
way.
but it's not a tag team situation.
Because-
No, no, tag team, we are switching.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
switching. And a gangbang is like, wait your turn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 guys can enter at a time, but typically it can be like 1 guy can enter at a time, but everybody gonna get their
Yeah,
turn.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a train.
I'm not opposed to any of it. It's just never gotten
Or a woman.
to.
Or a male.
It's never gotten to a point of me being like, I really want to try this. Like, it's never been in my mind in that way.
Right.
I'm not anti it, not super gung-ho about it. It's just something that's there, and if I want to explore it, there's nothing holding me back from exploring it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure.
Last time
I over here picking
been
colors
apart.
and shit.
I know this joint was getting on my nerves for like the past hour. But anyway, last time I was a part of one, and this is when I knew I couldn't really participate in them no more. I actually felt a sense of guilt.
Yep.
And
You talking about a 2 guy, 1 girl one, right?
no, it
You
was
talking about a 2 girl, 1 guy?
no 2. It was more than 1 guy. It was like 3 or 4 of us.
It was
That's
a train.
bro.
They were trained, but I felt a sense of guilt because it just didn't sit right with me after that. Like it just felt like in my teenage years, it was just like, yo, I'm here.
And
I'm
it
with
was
the
really
shit.
a teenage early 20s
Right.
thing.
But as an adult, like after I turned about 21, 22, it's just like, like I can do it, but I'm not for it. Like it's just, I'm thinking about hygiene now. I'm thinking about her and the way she feels. Like I started to be considerate of those type of things, and I don't know. That's when it just I didn't shy away from the experience more so, but I just tried not to put myself in that many situations. So it just was like before a nigga could call me like, yo, the smut over here, nigga. You better come over and get yours. It's just like, nigga,
That's how
I'm
it
not
started.
gonna grab me a couple condoms. I'll be there in a couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But now, nigga, I saw some shit where a nigga was talking to a young boy about gangbangs, and he didn't even use condoms during gangbangs.
No.
But anyway, that's besides the point. One of my homies
Yep.
got a chick pregnant during the gangbang.
Whose baby is it?
It definitely is, because he the only one that used a condom.
That's foolish.
In front of everybody. I knew it was his. Because this nigga did not use a condom. I was like 14, and I still remember this shit to this day. This bitch popped up pregnant like 4 months later. Had to move down south and everything. But
That's back when you was sending motherfuckers
this
down
nigga,
south.
this nigga did that shit without even thinking, without blinking. Squeezed in there and just went on with his day. I'm just like, whoa.
What the
Nigga.
fuck is wrong with you?
But yeah, like at this
So
point,
green at 14. This shit is like baffling me.
you said you were
At 14, I was like, oh my
Oh,
god.
nah.
Oh
It's
no,
sad.
yeah, gangbang, trains and gangbangs and tag team. That's primarily when I was doing it. So outside of porn, that's really the only time I've ever seen or experienced tag team where there's multiple 2 guys and a girl. Other than that, in adulthood, again, like, what do I need you here for, bro?
Right.
Like, what?
Or it literally got to be the spur of the moment. I'm not calling you. Like, it's not going to be like, yo, come over.
Yeah,
I
that
got
used
bitch
to be a
over here.
thing. Like, yo, we got a bitch over here. She wanted to fuck everybody. Okay. But now,
even if you call me like, bitch over here, I'm willing to fuck everybody. I'm not.
Have fun, bro.
Like,
I'm gonna tell you, have fun.
Yeah.
Send me a video.
Have at it. That's just not my thing.
Yeah, it's not. But now the 2 girls, 1 guy. That shit is awesome because it's like, especially for a dominant guy, in very few situations are you not the dominant, and so it's like, even in that situation, you're probably dominating to a degree, but they're choosing what they doing. She riding you, yeah. Next thing you know, bitch sitting in your face, yeah. Oh, bitch, we gonna make her pussy then. Then they switch. It's just so fucking fun to be
taken
advantage of by 2 women as a man. Even if they're not interacting, because I've had, I can't call it a threesome. I was calling it a threesome before. Now I'm not gonna call it a threesome. It was a tag team match. I got tag teamed by 2 cousins, and it was just passing me back and forth, and it was just fucking awesome. It was just amazing. Oh, and it's just glorious, and I recommend it for everybody. And I think the women enjoy it as well. Shay, you haven't experienced it, but I think
before you get married,
the women enjoy it as well. Yeah, I do recommend it for you. Because even in my youth, I was having debriefing segments, sessions with women after sex. I want to know, I ask questions like, yo, so.
You cared a lot as a youth.
Dog, I wanted to know, yo. Like, even with the 2 cousins, I had a debriefing session with them, like, yo, so, because it really was an accident. It was not supposed to be that. I was knocking off 1 cousin. I was being adventurous. It was a bunch of people in another room. I knew her cousin was in another room. My homie, I knew he had been fucking her cousin. So I'm like, let me go get them. And then we can make this a group thing. I was just being adventurous. So I got my homie first. I bring him in. She wound up topping him off. By the time I get her cousin in there, he already tapped out. So that was just me and them. And that's how that shit went down. And it was everything.
Yo.
It was my first time. And that's why I call it a threesome. It was my first time. And I was just like, wow. Like, wow. And then that fucking tag team led to a fucking train. And that train was redonkulous. It was crazy as shit. And that's when I was like, and that's when I got my conscious moment that you was just talking about. I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. Yeah. It's fucking crazy.
Like, I'm like the most ratchet motherfucker in the world. But I be feeling like sometimes I really see a ratchet motherfucker. I'm like,
I'm really don't. I'm not really.
Maybe I am a bit conservative, actually.
I'm not really important. I thought I was.
It's like you be like, oh my,
you nasty.
Y'all niggas is nasty.
Fuck that, yo.
I'm judging niggas and shit.
Yes. And that's what happened when, in that situation when that train popped off after I got tag team. I was fucking judging niggas like,
man,
because once you get yours, now I'm just really in here for fun.
Now you just watching.
Yeah, like,
it's like literally when you get shit
every once in a while, but I'm just
that shit is like a cloud leaves your brain, and clarity comes through, and you see shit for what it is. And that's
it's like when
when I had that
you just came down off a crazy high. And you're like, you know what? I don't think I need to do that anymore.
Yeah,
like, it's just it was my moment of clarity. I saw shit that I had never experienced. Dog. It was a nigga. Let me lay the scene. Let me make it a story for y'all. So, like I said, I'm having this tag team with the Jordys. Then a nigga is banging on the door relentlessly, and so that's how it ended. And I got mine. I'm like, all right, fine. So the cousin who I was knocking off first, she was like, no, I'm not down with this shit. But the other cousin was like, I'm down with this shit. Send whoever in. I'm like, okay. And so literally maybe 5 niggas came in, but only 3 niggas was hitting it. One nigga got in a shower, took a fucking shower, got out the shower, and just was watching, just beating his dick. I'm like, you don't just want to have sex? Or, okay, fine. Then another nigga. We having a good time, you know, I'm already satisfied, so I'm just enjoying myself, slap a butt hair, you know, we was recording it too, so it was just a good time. So this nigga, we slapping her butt. normal butt slaps, not nothing crazy. This nigga comes over, and when I say he made me have the fear of God, I thought he was gonna go to jail.
That's my
He
thing.
slapped her fucking butt back, because it wasn't just her cheeks. His aim was fucking horrible.
Oh,
So
no.
fucking hard, yo, that every nigga in the room was like, whoa! And everybody was like, nigga, that was not me. Everybody put their hands up.
That's why them
Kick this
situations
nigga
go
out.
left so fast. And
Yes.
and this is where I want to put a bump
Shit
on
can
this
get dangerous real quick.
So, in more recent times, when I was in my 20s still, I just so happened to be at an event. A girl I know, very familiar with, we cool, it's my homie. You know what I mean? Word got
Hit
out
the
that
shit out of her, yo.
word got out that she was, you know, she was the new one. Like, that everybody was running down on. Cool, not my business, you know. Your prerogative, shorty, enjoy. So I just so happened to be at a party, and she happens to be there. Next thing I know, she's in a room with niggas. He's like, yo, Ray, you want in on this joint? I'm like, no, that's like my homie. Like, no, I'm cool, cuz.
Mm-hmm.
Hour go by. Nobody comes out. Niggas just going in. Another hour go by. Niggas just going in. I'm talking about 2 hours. Dog. I don't know. I'm not going to keep a head count.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say more than my fingers went in there. And I go in there at the end, like, when I broke the shit up, because she was passed out drunk, like, fucked up. I don't know if they put something in her drink or nothing. But that's when it kicked in for me. Like, yo, end this shit. Yo, my man, if you don't cut this shit out, she wake up and call the cops, all y'all niggas going to fuck the jail. Because this shit is, you know, out of pocket. So it just was like, that shit to me, it's just like, all right, have y'all fun. And if the chick is a willing participant, fine. But I just find these situations are one person's bad actions can lead to everybody going to jail. So I'm not running that risk of niggas running the train and then next thing I know, I'm in jail behind some bullshit y'all doing. And I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if my interaction, even if I did interact with the chick and it was consensual and yours wasn't,
Exactly.
I'm still going down for that
Because the
street.
truth is some, we know, it's women who have been down for that shit. And it would just
One
be
person.
one fucking person who takes it too far. And you like, dog, I'm not going to jail for you.
Right.
Fuck that shit.
And
not for this charge. Like, I'll you know, different shit.
These
But
situations
not for
go
this.
left. These situations can go
fuck
so
that.
left. So,
And so, while we did just big up tag teams and training, I'm saying no trains. I'm saying no to trains.
no,
I'm going to say, while we saying these trains and gangbangs are the same, I'm going to say gangbang is a bit different. I'm going to say gangbang is full consent. A train should be full consent. It's usually consent. But a train, I think, is more what you describe. A train, people just keep coming. A gangbang is a set.
Everybody here.
The people we started with is the people who here.
right. A train is niggas just going in.
Yeah,
And this was a chick that I did not know prior. I mean, I did not know she got down like that. You know what I'm saying? So I was just uncomfortable with the idea. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it really was my friend, like from childhood. So I'm just like, no, nah. And when it was confirmed, I'm like, but then when I like saw her like that, like, I lost it a little bit. I fucked the whole party. I ain't gonna lie, I fucked the whole party up.
I've never had that
should.
situation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
should.
definitely should. I've never had that situation where a woman was too far inebriated. All the situations that I've experienced, it was very much sober, like surprisingly sober. But even still, like that when he slapped that chick fucking ass and back, that was, I thought it was game
Tears like
over,
welling in her
dog.
eyes. That joint hurt.
She took that shit like a G and proceeded
You
to
said he
let,
slapped her ass and back?
because
You know the aim be off,
Yeah.
and that sting on your lower back.
Oh, like her
is
lower
a
back.
it was her
different
lower
type of
back. It was
problem.
her lower back, not her up. Yeah, it was definitely her lower back. He probably maybe the bottom of his palm got her cheeks. Most of his hand
So
got her
he-
lower back.
He
Dog.
brought everything he had.
He said with both hands, boom. I said, whoa.
Gotta go.
Everybody else was like, whoa.
Really gotta
She ain't cried. What she did was looked at that nigga like he lost his fucking mind, like he had 4 heads. We kicked him out, and she let the party keep going because she was with that shit, and that's fine. But dog, I just remember thinking like it's game over, yo. All she gotta do right now is call the cops and say
And that's it.
she wasn't with it.
And everybody going to
And
jail.
we all gonna say we got the tape. We got consent on tape.
Yeah.
We don't got consent to be whipping her ass. Like, you know, what I mean? At any point she can say no.
That shit is assault.
Exactly. He assaulted her, dog. That shit was crazy.
But
so enough of that.
Yeah.
I'm glad it went that way though, because I don't want people to just think that we just perverts and we down with all types of shit. No, trains, man. That
well,
shit.
as a grown man, it's just not really.
It's not.
When you young, you take it how you get it. You know what I mean? But when you older, you're a grown ass man. There's no reason for us all to be sitting in the room with our dick out, waiting our turn. It's just weird.
Excuse me. That's kind of gay.
Yeah.
In hindsight,
just
kind of gay.
Genuinely weird to me.
I wanted to say that, but I felt like this was y'all experience, and I've never experienced it. But it's actually, I can't understand how it never occurred in anybody's mind. Like, hey, I'm like beating off, waiting to jump in while you're in it, and she's doing the same thing. It's weird.
With homeboy, I keep pointing in the same direction because I can picture it so clear, so fucking clear. Homeboy right there being his dick. I'm like, that's gay, yo. And that's why he wound up, honestly, it's kind of my fault why he wound up hitting her. Because I said, yo, come over here. Like, she's with it. We got her consent. Yo. Because honestly, if I'm being honest, we thought we was being big men on campus. And, like, yeah, we got bitches. Yeah. So, yeah, come through. And we let him do it. And instead of, she was done to let him fuck. Instead of just letting him, just fucking, you decide you want to get this bitch a fucking... I don't even know what you want to call it. You hit the shit out of her, yo. That's crazy. That shit was crazy.
Something.
He fucked her up. And she was a beast. Respect to her for being a beast, and I appreciate her for not taking it left. He hit the shit out of her. Yeah. She would have been fully within her right if she got up and hooked off on that nigga. And I wouldn't have did shit to stop her. I probably would have jumped him. We would have been rolling on that nigga together.
Yeah, had to whip his ass. He fucked the whole show. Nah, I was thinking about another time up at college. I wasn't there, but niggas told me somebody else came in, a weirdo at that's not used to these situations, came into a situation and fucked it up by smacking the chick on the ass hard as shit. Mm-hmm. No, I've had that experience more than once. I know but you were there, so I'm just I'm saying, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I had that experience more than once. Yeah, and it was just like I hate weird shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like that. I just hate weird shit. Why are you messing this up? Like, alright, like, I got my bros with me. Like, these niggas, like, I can trust them. These my niggas, like, I know they ain't gonna do no weird shit. But at the same time, I still don't want to be around everybody waiting in turn. Just like, nigga, you going to run, close the door. And that was the thing. It wasn't, like, it was probably 5 cats. One person got in the fucking shower. Another nigga staying there beating his dick. Everybody else is in the mix. There's only 3 people. We in the mix. One in the mouth, one holding the camera, one in behind. We in the mix. Why are you over here beating off? For what? Just being weird. Dude, you need to get hard. She'll suck your dick. Yeah. Well, like, what do you? I did not understand it. And I still picture this other motherfucker getting out of the shower still soapy. And I was just like, what the fuck? You felt like you needed to get clean? And he wound up not even hitting. It was just so strange. It was just so strange. That's why I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore.
Disgusting.
It was so
everything that you guys are saying to me sounds disgusting.
It was fun. It was fun up to a point.
I just feel like I would require so much for it to work with me having a threesome. I don't want my juices to mix with her juices. I just feel like it would be more of a headache than anything. I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm thinking about the logistics of it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I really don't. I feel like it's going to fuck my vibe up. I got to think about all this shit. Like, I need to know if you're clean.
That's the
like,
one thing.
How does your pubic hair grow? Like, a lot. If it's like thick and nasty and you don't like want to shave it, I don't really shave like that. But bitch, if your hair grows a different way than mine and it's like a different consistency, I just feel like it's going to be on him. It's going to get on me. Or if I'm giving him head, it's going to get in my throat. And I don't want to deal with this. This is all the shit I'm thinking about.
So I understand.
You're very thorough.
So let me validate. I can only validate a small part of your feelings. I have had a threesome wherein, I didn't use a condom with either of them, and double dipping in both of them. Their juices didn't mix, and one wound up getting yeast infection.
No, I'm yeast infection, BV. I'm gonna get UTI.
Because you probably fucked up a threesome for a couple niggas just now, just by motherfucking
hearing this. Well, then that was my second threesome. No. And so then every threesome after that, I used condoms. Yeah. Because you get more condoms. Yeah, because I had a bowl of condoms and I was just switching them up. And a John Baby wipes.
See, no. That would piss me off more because condoms are already a nuisance. Now we gotta continuously
No,
switch
but
in.
see, it's different because it's a threesome. See, and that's for a threesome. This is why a threesome is different than a tag team. Y'all interacting too, so it's perfectly fine for the guy to step out of the situation. Y'all fucking each other. I'll step out of the situation. Y'all fuck around and don't even miss me.
Okay.
But
no.
If you're not cool with her juices being on the dick, you ain't gonna want them in your mouth. Then. So you're not
That's
interacting
just
with
what
the
I'm
girl.
saying. Like, I have to get to that point.
She's with the tag team. She's not even not with it. But I'm just saying she's thinking.
I would
from
more
a
so
tag
do a
team
tag
perspective,
team.
Not really a.
But even that, I'm just really thinking about a lot of things.
Yeah, I can see. That is a headache.
No.
You can't be thinking too much.
Yeah. So
everybody tells me that, and it does not help me think too much. Like, I still
get it.
do.
No, you thought about it very thoroughly. I can appreciate your thoroughness.
Sure.
But in the moment,
because it's not for everybody.
Niggas don't get clarity until the end. Niggas don't see shit clear until they bust their nut.
You gonna see everything.
Like, you don't even know what the girl look like until you bust your nut. You don't. You do not notice this bitch got a birthmark on her butt cheek until you bust that nut. Like, this bitch got a birthmark.
No, you don't know this detail.
What the fuck is that a mole?
Oh,
But
no.
You want me to notice details?
Just think about them.
I'm come high
Right.
now.
I'm high.
What are you talking about?
I'm high off this fucking
Once I release
wood.
this nut, then I can see everything clear.
Right.
Now I got cum goggles on.
Yeah,
The nut is
it's not
gone.
for me. Like, now thinking about it and how much I think about it, like, all the detail, I just don't think it.
Yeah.
No.
It's not very right.
It's not.
No.
But gang bangs, tag teams, all that shit. If that's your lifestyle and that's how you like to enjoy it, please have fun.
Have you ever heard of cuckold?
Be safe. Yeah, I heard of cuckold.
I feel like you said that before,
Okay,
and I
probably
can't
did.
remember
Probably did.
what that is.
Or hot wives?
Hot wives?
Hot wife. Yeah. it's
Hot
like
wife where niggas watch their wife get fucked on camera.
that. Yeah.
What's the cut?
It's basically the same type of
Okay.
thing.
So
The hot wife is a woman
have
involved in a
fetish.
couple
Yeah,
relationship.
these dudes have fetishes of watching their wife get fucked by black guys.
It's not just necessarily black guys.
But the ones I always come across is a black guy,
That's
a
probably the most dominant you
BBW.
gonna find on the internet.
What they call a black dude? A BBC.
A bull.
Yeah, BBC.
A bull
Yeah,
or
BBC.
BBC fucking crushing my wife. It's just like, wait.
Oh, yeah, that be the title.
He holding the camera, beating his dick.
Yo, you like, yo, whoa.
I had a conversation with my cousin one day. We all actually were talking about like the names of porn and then how crazy they be, like stepmama, fuck stepson while dad's in the bed. We're like, oh, let me check that out. What's going on with that? Like you you really do. The names be wild. You be like,
Yo,
let me
I'm
see
glad you
what's
said
going
that.
on with this.
I'm glad you said that.
That shit really
You really do.
That make me like really self-evaluate. Like, wait a minute. I just
Right,
clicked
why did I
on
want to click
Mom
on
Fuck
this
Son.
shit?
Do I have an issue?
Right, like what's really going on?
Do I need
Like,
to seek help?
Fucking my aunt while my uncle's on vacation.
Yeah, like,
Whoa, fucking your aunt?
I watched it.
But I want to know. I want to know. I want to click on it. How did they all go?
Storyline is fucking fiction.
Right, like, goddamn.
Oh my goodness, I'm glad it's not just me.
Oh
No,
my
no,
god.
those titles be
Afterwards,
wild.
you be like,
You see this shit,
wait
you
a
be like,
minute.
yo, what? Weird.
I don't want to
Why
fuck
would
my
you, why would you fuck your stepmom? Alright, let me see what this is.
Oh God.
Niggas be saying fucking my sister.
Right here.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, who
Who
wants to
the
fuck their
fuck their sister while everybody sleep? Like,
Right.
oh no.
I'm gonna see though.
It's horrible.
Because obviously, afterwards, I really be like, do I
What
have
is
a deep,
happening?
dark,
Right.
subconscious
No.
secret? Like, do I need to seek help?
I would
Like,
have no
why
sister,
was
so I
that
can stomach
title
shit like that.
interesting to me?
That
Why
shit's
did it have to
disgusting.
It catches your attention. At
It
least
does.
it catches my attention.
It does. It's a thing.
It's just crazy. It's usually white people too. I haven't seen black people with it.
Doing
I
those
did.
crazy
I've seen
things.
black people in the stepmom one. I haven't seen the black people in the sibling one.
Everyone I'm talking about is a nigga fucking his aunt or fucking his sister or some shit as a black dude.
Oh, yeah, I
It's like a
understand that.
whole situation. You like, but you know down south that shit is a thing.
It is.
Niggas fuck their cousins.
We stereotyping like shit.
I
don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's prevalent, but motherfuckers down south fuck their cousins. They might even fuck their sisters sometimes, but I'm gonna just say their
Why
cousins.
would you want to fuck your sister?
I don't know, but I really don't see how you
Keep the
could,
bloodline pure, Game of Thrones.
or you could be
And
like Jon
retarded.
Snow and fuck your aunt.
Or mentally ill.
I think, is that a truth or
I feel like the Jon Snow
that your kids come up retarded.
It's not necessarily 100%, but I feel like the Jon Snow
Scary.
and Daenerys Targaryen is a bit different. It's a degree
They
of
don't know.
separation there. They don't know.
That's his great aunt.
But
The
Lannisters, Cersei and her brother knocking off. That's very clear and conscious.
Yeah, that's
Y'all done had kids.
Yeah,
but
that's just very nasty.
Yeah.
But their kids are normal except Jeffrey.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey was just batshit crazy.
Is it Jeffrey or Joffrey?
Joffrey.
Excuse me.
Ray does it all the time.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't sure.
Jeffrey?
It's Joffrey.
No, it's a difference.
It is a difference.
I just want to make sure.
Joffrey is a difference. I'm not going to say it, but y'all know what I meant. Is what I'm saying.
We
Yeah,
did.
we got you.
But
Oh,
yeah, Joffrey
he
was a bit
demon.
special. He was a demon child, but the rest of them all got gold hair. I'm just curious as to how Baratheon didn't get her pregnant with one kid. Like all the kids is Jaime's. Like he didn't squeeze in.
But then Rob had a bunch of kids, though. They
Yeah.
didn't kill all the kids,
Yeah.
so he could definitely put them in them.
So
But
I'm
he
just
did put
thinking,
none in
yeah.
her.
Right.
you got all these blonde haired kids and you got dark hair. You don't got no questions?
Right.
Like not one?
They all just Lannisters. Like
And
her
then when I
blood.
can't
Or it could be. It
Ned
could
Stark
be.
brings it up and it's like, oh, you tripping. But you
Yeah.
don't see this?
Yeah, that's
or
weird.
No.
That's weird.
How we always
It
want
could
to
be
take
that
Game of
Cersei just like
Thrones?
killed.
fuck you.
I know. I feel like I always
Remember
bring
that
up Game of
ta-
Thrones,
remember
but
that-
Game of Thrones is like I feel like you can talk about it with everything.
Remember those tangents I was talking to you about
There we
earlier?
go. Yeah, we was sorry, y'all. We supposed to really not go on tangents because we had so many topics we wanted to like.
And
keep it
what
short.
did I say earlier?
We can't help it.
That's
That's the
what
name
we-
of the fucking
that's
show.
what we
It's
do.
the name of the show.
We're always on a fucking tangent.
So
This
deal
is part of
in
life.
the
So
spirit
deal
of
with
trying to keep a reasonable time frame.
So deal with this. I'm sorry.
I
we
posed
good
a
on time
question.
so far.
I
Hour 15.
posed a question to y'all about
We're
cheating.
good on time, actually.
Yeah.
So, if a person is married, still legally married, but separated and in a quote unquote committed relationship, and winds up or is having sex with their legally married spouse, is that cheating?
No.
I'm gonna say it depends. I feel like it depends on. I mean, legally, I guess it's not cheating.
Is cheating illegal? Or it is adultery.
Is that like whatever?
But if we
Anyway,
separated,
Commitment is overrated.
I mean, it's overrated. But if we have a conversation and say we committed, nigga, it's not that overrated.
yeah, I agree.
Like if that's what we got going on, then that's what
I like the
it is.
fervor of your statement, but essentially we're human. Like everybody's gonna want to, especially if that's your wife. Like
I get that,
You
Ray.
gonna slip
I
and
feel
fall in
like
that
when you
pussy
always
eventually.
get to this point. I dig what you're saying.
No.
all right.
I dig that, but what, like I said, if we had a conversation, you're still married, but we dealing with each other. I mean, you say this is what it's going to be. We not neither one of us stepping out. This is what it is.
Exactly.
Then that's what the fuck it is. And if you do something outside of that, fam, it's a problem. That's cheating.
Because if you have sex with your legal spouse, don't that mean I should be able to have sex with whoever I want?
Yeah, just don't let me find out.
No, see, I should
You
have
work my nerve, and I feel like you're doing this on purpose.
Why am I being attacked for having a different opinion right now? I'm just
I gotta disagree with you, bro.
Just don't have your wife calling you motherfucking whatever you
Right,
doing.
honestly. So you're honestly going to say you're honestly saying it's not cheating right now, right?
No, it's not.
We
cheating.
decided together that we were going to be committed to each other. So once
I
we made
hate you
that
so
decision,
much,
and you start fucking, he's rolling his eyes hard as shit. Once we made that decision,
We should be looking at us like we
like, we tripping
like,
and shit. All this time we've been talking about relationships being based on conversations. Now it's like fucking conversation. We
your
signed this
fucking wife,
paper.
dude.
Yeah, but we not together.
I cannot believe you say this.
Balance up on a banana peel for that pussy.
No, we not.
I'm
Y'all not. You told me y'all not together.
You're right. They're not together.
Y'all don't live together no more. Y'all only should be interacting, with exchanging kids, court dates, things like that, business things. We together now. That's cheating.
So she's legally my wife, but we're not together in full matrimony within honor and
Y'all
that.
separated, nigga. Y'all have a
Nigga, y'all
separation
separated.
agreement.
Y'all working towards
It's
the
paperwork
divorce.
for separations as well. Y'all separated
And
with
you
paper.
Here we
saying, so working toward the divorce and I slip on a banana peel and fall in the pussy, that's me cheating on my girlfriend. Or technically my side. But
No,
technically not my side.
No.
Just,
I don't want to be called the side if we decided we're in a committed relationship because you're in the process of divorcing your spouse.
I know, I get it.
I don't feel like I'm the side.
Your eyes bleeding.
No, that's not fair.
Alright, so I'll just say this. Maybe you shouldn't make any other commitments until your divorce is finalized.
I can respect that answer.
Yeah, I can respect that, Ray. Cool.
But
Don't say nothing else after this. Don't say shit
I'm
else.
not gonna offer nothing
got
else.
the
He
lips
was
ready
ready
to
to say some other shit. He really
I got some
was.
more shit to say. Let me get that right.
Just finish up this commitment and then we can honor other commitments. But
Wow. I can't
So,
believe how much we disagree today.
right. I feel like it's been a lot.
Dog, it's cheating. You told me we was together. I'm not fucking nobody else because I thought that we had agreed. This nigga.
Yo,
is
you
pissing me
blowing
off.
my mind.
His
Right,
eyes are pissing me off.
he really,
His eyes-
like he looking down his glass saying some shit.
I know he's devaluing my point. He's like, nigga, you're just talking.
He's not even saying that. Dog, he's not even hearing anything we're saying right now.
No.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Isn't
I'm
a
not
relationship
gonna say
truly based off of the conversations and agreements that we made? If we agreed that we were committed to each other, then women, it don't matter if it's your legal husband or legal spouse or Tom, Dick, and Harry from the corner. It don't matter. It's going to be the same
I'm
thing.
not saying that the person that you're committed to doesn't have a right
Cool
to
that you're
feel away.
fucking committed.
No, I'm just
We
saying
made
they don't
an
have a right to-
agreement.
It is
There ain't
an
no
agreement.
air quotes around that shit.
That is a agreement. Y'all made a verbal agreement. That's what I'm saying. That person has a right to feel away and to act accordingly. But your actions should be dictated by how you're feeling within yourself, not by how that person feels all the time.
What do you mean?
Because
Yeah.
if that's your wife and you haven't closed that chapter fully yet, and y'all haven't got the
Then why we
divorce,
separated when we closed that chapter fully?
if y'all haven't finalized the divorce yet,
Oh, goodness.
sometimes you need a separation. Sometimes you need a break from a motherfucker.
Okay, but
Then
that's
why you
not,
in a
I feel
new
like that's not what we're
relationship?
talking about. We're not talking about that.
You ain't gonna get no pussy if you and your wife separate.
Yeah, it's different than getting a pussy.
But you might like the girl.
being
No,
in
we're
a
not.
new
I don't think the
relationship.
separation you're talking about, I feel like it's something different. Your separation is like, nigga, stay at your mom's house.
You know what it is?
No,
And this is probably me.
We not together.
Right.
Honestly,
It's like paperwork for separation. Like, we didn't file that shit.
Lord, I don't see, I really believe until death do us part. I'm going to take that to heart.
That's some bullshit.
That is not bullshit.
You are contradicting points that you have previously made.
But when I didn't make it today. So let's just roll with me. So all I'm saying is, I don't see if you're getting married and you made the fucking mistake of marrying the wrong person, bitch. You mind it. Like you should have been more decisive. But you're in there, should be in it to win it. Stay committed to your marriage. I don't like divorce. So with that being said, if you go out and get some side yams, you got a side nigga, whatever. Like, you got a side nigga and y'all committed relationship, cool. I'm not saying that's my pussy. But if recreationally we come together and we having a good time, we gonna rekindle some type of fucking candle. We was married for God's sake. So if I slip and fall on the pussy,
why are we
like,
coming
you gotta
together to
understand.
have a good time?
I don't get that part either.
And it's probably because if we seeing our kid off to the prom. And we're cherishing the moment.
Yeah, and y'all just
And I'm
stay
leaving
over
when
and
the
have
kid
some
leaves.
some wine with her
And we
afterwards.
sit
Why would we? No, that's not appropriate.
No, it's not.
If you're in a relationship, nigga, no, or I'm with your ass. Like, that's what it is.
Listen,
we
the
ain't
government
talking
imposes
together.
enough rules on us. I don't
Oh
really
my
gotta
God.
let others impose.
You know what, right? I just feel like you're being oppositional. And
I'm playing devil's advocate.
No, I think you dead ass.
I think you did ass. I do.
My wife is my wife for life.
All right, nigga, okay, that's a different situation. I feel like once we said that there was a conversation had with the person that you're committed to.
So you saying I just can't fuck my wife?
No,
No,
No.
nigga, that's not. It's,
we made an agreement.
You can't sleep with anybody. I'm sorry.
We said that's what
You
we were
were-
doing.
Why do adults gotta even have these conversations? Why can't we just insist on being respectful to each other and not fucking nobody?
Because we don't all agree on what respectful is.
that's the conversation part, right? That's
Exactly.
why you're baffling us right now. We talk about this shit all the time.
But that's my wife. If I slip on banana peel and fall
You
into
gonna stop talking about this banana pill, dog?
I mean, banana peel is a thing.
You don't plan these things. I'm not saying I'm intentionally trying to fuck my wife, but if just so
Okay,
happens,
even if you do, I'm just saying that can we call it cheating or can we not? That's not
it's
cheating.
not cheating. She's still my wife. That's all I'm saying.
You know what?
Ain't such thing.
No, Ray. I want you to think about it like this then. If you can rape your wife,
No.
it can be cheating.
See, when you make it criminal, you know I feel different about it. I'm
If
not
you-
talking about raping.
No, I'm not. You're not talking about. I'm trying to give you a reasonable parallel.
I know, but this shit is an extreme parallel.
Well, I feel like I got to take it there with you.
All right,
I'm
go
really
ahead.
trying to bring. I honestly, I'm working hard to bring it to our side.
Go ahead.
Trying to get you
Go
over
ahead,
there.
man. Have at it,
Go ahead.
man. You throw rape in the picture.
I'm just
of
saying.
course, I'm gonna fucking agree. Yes, Daryl, it's wrong.
Because
Fuck.
I feel like under what you.
God damn. It's like very fucking wrong. You should never fucking
I
rape.
feel like under your premise, it's like even if she's your wife, she's always your wife. That's always your pussy. You can always, you should always be able to have access to the
No,
pussy.
that's not true.
So what? Tell me.
Access is not a thing.
Because now I'm gonna make you about to contradict yourself.
I'm telling you, it's not a matter of access. We just said it. Slip on a banana pill, meaning she wasn't open to the idea either.
So, Ray,
But we just
here's
happened
the other
we
thing.
vibing that night.
We
been fucking
have
for
been
years.
saying-
It's regular.
I'll accept that.
We have been saying that we are a part of the faithful black male
I'm
community.
very proud
right?
of the faithful black male.
So when we were 16, 17, all the way up to let's say 24, 25, that's when you and I and our
Savage.
people will be talking about slipping on a banana pill. That's when slipping on a banana pill was real.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you accidentally fall into some pussy.
Savage.
It's a thing. But, excuse me, but once you make a decision, right? Once we decided that we were going to be a part of this faithful male community, then we became mature enough to not slip on the banana pill. Then you still may slip, but you catch yourself before you fall into the pussy.
Yeah.
Okay, nope. Go ahead.
I'm with you.
So I say all that to say, there's no slipping on a banana pill with your
You're right.
wife.
I did. I misquoted that.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't call it slipping on a banana pill.
What did you call it? You about to get on my nerves.
I got him and shit.
You got me. You got me.
I don't want you to
You
change the
call it
term.
slipping on a
I don't want you
banana
to
pill.
change the term.
You should
I'll
actually
push you
call
to
it.
Join us.
What?
I was gonna say me and my wife had a good night.
Oh my God.
Like it was just a regular, like we.
I don't want you having no good nights.
It's
with
like
your
boomerang.
marriage.
You know, he was
spouse.
talking, things happened, he didn't mean for it to happen, he felt bad about it. But at the same time, he just had to go. It's your wife, like you've been fucking her for
No, Ray.
several years.
At
Like,
this point, as we are members of the
All right,
faithful
sorry.
black male community,
I have to change
it's
my
all
way of
about choices.
thinking. Choices.
If we decide to have sex, then we made a choice. Ain't no
When
slipping.
you throw wife into it, it just gets a little weird because I get it that y'all
Once
separated.
we
and y'all working on
separated,
divorce.
you only my wife on paper.
I know that. But what I'm saying to you is if you and your wife are married on paper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. We're not talking about the relationship. And y'all end up fucking, that means that there's a part of
business.
there's a part of your relationship that y'all haven't closed yet. There's still a little bit of an open book there. So y'all need to
Or
finish
maybe we
this
were
shit
just
out.
both horny. Like, no, we've been fucking each other for years. Like, no, I
And you
don't
still
agree.
But I think the if I'm going through a divorce, I'm thinking I'm repulsed by her. Like I don't even want to touch her.
Not necessarily.
I would want to feel that.
Don't necessarily like you.
I don't
It
like
can still
her.
be
I'm
lust. Remember the 3 L's. It can still be lust. I don't like you. I don't love you.
So you're saying
I still think you sexy.
like I still bust your ass, but I hate you, bitch.
Yeah, you never been in that situation?
Absolutely.
I know you
I
have.
found myself in that situation
Exactly.
several times.
I know you have.
You fuck
So,
me,
I mean,
bitch.
come on.
But at the same time, it's still like it's hard to call it cheating because it's not some random broad. It's like, my wife. It's hard to really.
I guess we just gonna have to agree to this.
I think so. I think we're an adult thing. It's
No.
not-
All right. I will say it's wrong to disregard the commitment that you made to somebody else, but I would say not to make commitments with other people until all your other commitments are ended. That's it.
I can even respect
Okay.
that. I guess we.
All
I
right.
can
Get
take
your
that.
divorce and then commit to this broad. But don't commit to the broad if you ain't divorced yet. Just say, you know, I'm working some shit out.
See,
like
I
Daryl
wanna
said
end
last episode, I got some shit I'm working out. I need some time to finish that, and this is the goal. Give me the time. This is the date that it will happen, and once that happens, then I can fully commit to the relationship.
But I also want you to just take on the mindset, because I hear you. I want you to also think about, a lot of times you can be with a person and still feel alone. You can be with a person and feel like you're not really with that person.
I'm with you.
So just because now you're at a divorce stage, you could have been really not with that person in your mind, your spirit anymore for however long.
Right.
So I hear you when you're saying you should finish your commitments before you move on to new commitments. But you could really have been ready to move on years ago.
But if you went back and fucked her, you obviously wasn't.
No, I can't buy that. I feel like
I'm thinking of it as an extreme. If I'm divorcing a person, I don't want no ties to the person at all. And all pussy ain't good.
But maybe, all right, so y'all got kids, so y'all have ties that you cannot tell.
No, what I'm saying is all pussy ain't good pussy. Like I'll tell a nigga like this, like if that's your baby mom and y'all not seeing eye to eye, don't fuck her. Whatever you do, don't hit it. And nigga can't grasp that. I'm speaking in code, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And the reason I told him not to hit it is because when you do that, shit get convoluted, shit get confused. You may think it's one thing and she's thinking it's another thing. You don't want to mix that up. So you want to keep it clear so that, you know, keep it smooth. But niggas don't honor that. I'm not saying you should hit it while y'all going through a divorce. I'm not even saying it's cool. What I'm saying is, if you got a little chick and you hit your wife, I wouldn't call it cheating, but you just was wrong.
okay. All right. That is what it is.
Yes.
I really don't.
You want to put a ball on that part of it? All right.
We can stretch this any further than we have.
Yes. So enough with the moron piece. Let's get into some oxy. Goddamn.
Yeah.
I got to do moron of the day. Moron of the day, go right.
Oxy moron. So
No,
oxy is sharp, moron is dull. You know, we did the moron shit. You just happen to be the capitalist of it.
Yeah.
So Shay shared a video of was that like, where was he speaking at? Was that in front of like a Senate Congress?
I believe so. Yeah.
So it was a guy testifying in front of some legislative branch somewhere, talking about.
I think it was actually one of the court circuits. This case is going like up the circuits of court, so it's just at a higher court circuit.
Well, how would you tell it?
So there was a woman who she had her second child, and I believe she had a C-section.
Yes.
She had a C-section. She started hemorrhaging. For hours, she was hemorrhaging.
Yes.
They neglected her for hours. At one point, they said, your wife is not a priority. Because the husband was begging them to do something for his wife. She ultimately died.
They don't do nothing until they get to the point where she needs a blood transfusion.
Yeah. But it was too late because she died. From something she should not have died from.
Exactly.
And I think that the people that were there, he just wanted to prove the point further, like bring it home further, that black women they're more likely to die from childbirth than any other race. I think 243% more likely.
That's the number.
That's the number said at this hearing, not by the husband, but by somebody that studies these numbers.
Professionals.
That's the number. And this guy said, the guy that gave that number said that a black, well-educated, wealthy woman would die.
Does not matter.
Would die before an uneducated
A white woman without a high school diploma
would die before her. Would die before her. He said that to say he wanted to take out race, all of it.
Race,
take out race,
class, education.
everything.
You want to make sure he eliminated all that.
Take it all out. Because this black woman and all those
She fucking spoke 5 languages. She was professional. She was beautiful. I don't know if that really matters, but she had everything that she checked all the boxes.
Yeah.
Checked all the boxes.
It was.
And died.
That was super.
And died.
It was hard for me to even watch and stomach him even giving his testimony or
I couldn't believe he got through so much of it without
Before
like,
he started
yeah,
crying.
like
Yeah,
it
I'm
was
sitting
up.
there. I'm sitting there
I'm
like,
listening
bro.
to it like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
First of all,
Because it was so clear how much he loved his wife. It was so clear how much he loved his wife. For me, it was just like I've known these things. Like even when we were talking about it, I've known that historically and presently, the medical field in large part views black people, as much as people talk about black people inferior, as a superior bodily thing. That's to say that black people have a higher pain tolerance. Mm-hmm. That's to say that black people have different reactions different reactions to treatments than white people, and so they don't necessarily need the emergency treatments. To know these things because I've read these things, but to hear a testimony, he gave his testimony. It was so powerful. Mm-hmm. And then the way they crafted the video to show her with her
that's
kids.
what I'm saying. It was
that's what made it
up.
even more powerful.
I was getting so choked up because it was just like, at the end of the day, I don't know. Like even when Kim Porter died, like 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
the thought of losing the mother of my children to anything, this period, is frightening to me. Like I can handle, God forbid, like if something happened to me, but something happened to my girl, I feel like my kid, I don't say this lightly, but they don't need her more, but I feel like they need her more. You know what I mean?
I know, I feel you.
So it's just
Can I
like,
just say something real quick? It's not to devalue a father. It's not to devalue fathers. It's not to downplay fathers. It's just to say I feel you.
when I was a kid, I used to damn near cry when Aaron Hall video came on. I Miss You, John.
Mm-hmm.
That was my shit, but it was the fucking, like I felt that shit at a young age, but that shit, watching that video, that's what it did. Like it infuriated me, but then it also made me sad. But then I also, to admire his bravery and the way that he explained it and broke it down and his time sequences that transpired, I just couldn't really fathom how they reduce our, like, and before this video came out, somebody brought that to my attention, like how black women are treated in the medical system. Mm-hmm. And it was, matter of fact, it was Reach. She was just talking about how something was wrong with her ear. And the doctor just was like, oh, it's nothing, like, whatever. And they didn't really want to treat her and give her the right diagnosis. So she's going from doctor to doctor to figure out what the hell's going on. And until she finally got a real answer, but it's just like everybody was dismissing her as if what she was saying was like she was complaining.
Thing, yo.
It
And it's just
is.
like,
I was reading something and it said that in situations like that, and it said that we gotta have like something built in to protect ourselves from it. But in a situation like that, when you're saying something is wrong, you're persisting that something's wrong, and the doctor's saying it's fine, you need to say, I want it documented in my chart that I wanted this, and you said no.
right.
I said this, and they'll say, oh, no, okay, we'll do the test. We'll run the test. Because they don't want to document it, because you're going to go somewhere else, and they'll be held liable.
Exactly.
It's fucked up that we have to do that. It's awful that I can't go to the doctors and say, this is bothering me, or I would like to be tested for this. And they're like, I have to go through these extra steps for it to actually happen.
It's sad.
I've experienced it as a man,
tragic.
and it taught me to be very conscious and prepared when I go to medical visits. I come with questions. I come with my ailments, and I come very clear on a little bit of research, not a little bit, but the internet-based research that I did on what I think is going on. And yeah, I've had my doctor say, I don't agree, but I say, yo, I want a gastroenterologist exam, I want a dermatologist. I tell my doctor exactly what he's gonna do. And if my doctor, I pay you. So if my doctor's not doing what the fuck I want to happen, what I want him to do, the procedures that I want, I'll find another fucking doctor who will. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, in like the setting of a childbirth, it's not that simple.
Right.
It's just not. And it's not fair. It really hurts my soul. I mean, I'm gonna incriminate myself again. I got my little sister pregnant. She about to have twins. God bless her. If something even similar remotely goes down like that, like I said in the post, trust and believe I'm gonna burn that motherfucker down. I'm gonna put a fire alarm because I don't want to kill a bunch of people. I'm burning that fucking place down. Don't do my people like that. It blows my mind. the hypocrisy of it.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to be inferior, yet we're superior, yet we're inferior, yet we're superior. Like, what is it? At least give me something. Give me something consistent. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, give me something real. Treat me fair. Treat me like I know what the fuck I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at least give me the respect to honor what I'm telling you I feel. I told my doctor, yo, I don't know, but I feel like my gastric system, something's not right. He's like, oh no, you're in your, at that time I was in my late 20s. He's like, you're in your 20s. We don't do those type of exams in your 20s. I don't give a fuck what the general practice is. I'm telling you what the fuck I feel, and this is what I did my research on, and this is what the fuck you're gonna do. If you're not gonna do that, I'm gonna find somebody else who will draft a fucking referral. And it's all about my insurance. If it wasn't my insurance that said I had to get a referral, then fuck it, I would just, find a doctor myself. But I need a referral, bitch. You either gonna give me the referral, or I'm going somewhere else. You need my money. Meanwhile, your punk ass try to medicate me when you want to medicate me.
Yeah.
Instead of telling me you need to lose weight, you need to do this, you need to eat this, don't eat that. You want to fucking medicate me. You just trying to get a profit.
Right.
Yep.
This shit, medical care absolutely cannot be a profit-based system.
That is the biggest tragedy in our country.
Yep.
Capitalism, that's what capitalism has, that's why it's flawed.
Capitalism's trash.
Yeah, and I don't want to go in a whole big conversation about capitalism because, of course, we can go down plenty. But
Christmas
as far as
is coming
healthcare,
up, we about to really
as far as
see shit.
healthcare is concerned, I wouldn't even go down capitalism hole. You know what pissed me off most about that video? When they told him his wife wasn't a priority.
That shit really fucking grind my gears is the PCest way I can say it. It burnt my soul, dog. What the fuck you mean my wife's not a priority? What the
And
fuck
at
you
that
talking about?
point, based
And
on the
who
way
can
he
say that?
described it, she's shivering, changing color in the bed. What the fuck do you mean she's not a priority? Something's wrong, and it's visible that something's wrong. Her catheter filled up with blood, and you said she's not a priority?
Like, fuck is you? So that part was just like, whoa. And to say that to somebody with a straight face, you know.
As he was essentially watching his wife die.
Do anybody follow that? Like the amount of malpractice, like the accidents that happen? Because there's this girl that I follow on Instagram, and I guess her daughter had a liver failure or something when she was born, and she's basically always posting about, the hospitals, and that they were running tests on her and experimenting with her daughter and just doing different things. And she's been advocating for this for many, many years. Like, I guess her daughter like 7 now, but several years just, trying to get proper treatment for a child or whatever. And throughout the years, like, they don't know how to diagnose her. They've been doing different tests on her and shit like that. And I didn't know medical malpractice was that much of an issue. Like, before even seeing what she was talking about.
I told y'all about when my mom was in the hospital and my dad was fucking furious because they would just send doctor in after doctor because nobody could figure out what was going on. And instead of they knew the area in which she was having pain, but the first things on the table were the first thing they said to my dad is ovarian cancer and some other type of cancer just because of where her pain was. But they didn't send anybody that specialized in anything in that area in until I want to say a week and a half, 2 weeks after my mom being in the hospital. And it was only, and I can only attribute them sending somebody in because at one point they called my mom's room the room with the dragon because my dad was not with the shit. He literally said to them, he said, if you don't send somebody in here that knows what they're doing with my wife, that greets my wife upon entering this fucking room, that greets me upon entering this room, I will carry her out of here and y'all will have a lawsuit on your hands quicker than y'all can, shut the door behind me. And then they send somebody in that knows they died.
Why we gotta make a threat?
Why we gotta fight
gotta be
for you to do your
litigation?
job? But most importantly, and this comes into effect with cancer, AIDS, like everything that the major things. Why are people getting preferential treatment when it comes to how do we tally lives to where as though we can decide who deserves to live and who deserves to die? And when that power is in your hand, how do you really elect who to serve? At the end of the day, I would expect somebody that pursues any type of form of doctoral practice, somebody that's of extreme care. Meaning,
if you're in a helping field,
yeah, you have to. But if you are a doctor in a helping field, like you have to care extremely about your work and what you're delivering at the end of the day. When it turns into profit, of course, we're trying to get the numbers. Of course, we're trying to get as many people in the door as possible. You can't really anticipate.
It really is.
And that's what's saddening about this is our society and the system that we live in. Like, I don't understand how, healthcare is this for-profit industry that we're medicating people that don't necessarily need medication. They need to be properly eat properly. We're not helping people.
It's not profitable though. Like, having people be healthy is not profitable.
We're picking people out of line that need transplants because they got a certain amount of money or a certain economic status over people that need the same operation. Like, what? Who is the who is the shot caller here that say, yo, this is okay? I can't reconcile. That's one of those things. Right. That's one of those things I can never reconcile.
It's a lie.
Yo. I'll never be able to reconcile that.
How do you live with yourself as a doctor or a medical professional who says to this husband that your wife's not a priority and then ultimately she dies? How do you
live with yourself?
Yeah, live with yourself. Like, how do you live with yourself? How do you process that? Because do you not look at that as, you murdered her.
And that's what he said. He was like, there's no matrix that could help me explain to my newborn or my 18-month-old, because he had a baby, another baby at home, and it's a new one. It's nothing that you can say. It's no formula that can help me explain this. Nothing. There is nothing you can say, especially because you had time. You had time to fix this. You had hours.
It was
hours.
You could have been done something.
I can only imagine that the procedure wasn't even a really intense procedure. It probably was something very simple, like y'all just had to do. Y'all just did a C-section. It was something probably more simple than that y'all had to do, and it couldn't be done.
I can't remember the name of the hospital, but I remember him saying that it was one of the top hospitals.
Yeah, Cedar
Mount Sinai.
Something.
Mount Sinai?
I don't know.
But
he said it was one of the top ones. He thought he was coming to the best medical establishment.
Or so you thought.
So you thought.
Unfortunately, this is probably
not for you.
This is probably a day in the life for them. Because
every day, but
what is the rate though? Because that's what the headline was, right? Because we kind of gloss over the amount of
243% higher
for black women. That's what I'm saying.
Giving birth are 240% more likely to die during or after giving birth. First of all,
wild.
From what I understand, from what I have saw, from what I have read, C-sections are taking place at a higher rate than they should be. They're giving C-sections.
C-section?
Bullshit.
It's different things. The C-section was based on a medical emergency. You gotta get the baby out.
Right.
Now it's happening because it can be a choice. Women can literally make the choice to say they want a C-section. It depends on what hospital you're at. They may say, okay. They may say you don't have the choice. Yeah, if you have a C-section before.
They're automatically going to tell you.
It's not true.
It's not even true.
If you have a C-section before for your first shot, they're going to say you have to have a C-section after that.
And it is
but that's
the
not true.
furthest
It's
thing
not
from
true.
the truth.
They told my lady that. She hadn't had a C-section, but she had to have thyroid removed. So after that thyroid, they said, because it's a bikini cut, they call it bikini cut. Once you get that cut, any baby you have after that is going to have to be a C-section. My son was supposed to be a C-section. Vaginal birth. You lying.
They just say shit, dog. Like, it's not true. It's the furthest thing from the truth. It might be easier for them because now there's already this incision. There's already this line I can follow. It's easier. No, not true.
That's wild.
Not true. Not true.
That's wild.
I mean, Charlamagne talked about it. His wife has had C-sections. He said the doctors told his wife that she had to have a C-section for their latest child, and he met with some specialists. who prepped her on what to do, and she wound up having a vaginal birth. It'd be a lie, yo.
It'd be a lie.
It's crazy.
It's so interesting though, because after I watched that video, a woman, she was talking about being a midwife. This is a black woman, and she has her own clinic for being a midwife. And it's all very natural. It's all very contingent upon what the mother wants, what her body is telling her, because she listens to that. Whereas in a hospital, it's just a procedure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm following protocol here.
I just thought about vaginal birth. That shit is the scariest shit still. Oh my God.
I've seen a C-section birth. My first child was a C-section, and my second child was vaginal. I've seen them both. They both crazy.
Yeah, Marley was shit. Shit, nigga. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I was jumping up and down. I was hype as shit. But that
like
shit
bitch.
was scary than a motherfucker in hindsight.
It's wild.
Oh yeah, I sent you the video, didn't I? Definitely in there, fucking crying.
Balling like a bitch. It's okay.
It's wild. When I heard Mickey, her dad, like, he was terrified. Like, this shit is just real. Like, and I was pushing for 2 hours because they gave me an epidural and I couldn't feel my legs, and my nurse kept pressing the button for me to not feel more. So they're like, push. I told you, all of it was just fucked up. And I couldn't, they didn't have a monitor of my contractions, so I'm pushing, it's just not going right. 2 hours, Mickey's head was a basketball when she came out. I was terrified. But so she comes out, but everything was already heightened because her heart rate was low. And they were like, if she doesn't make noise, nobody's going to see her. We got to figure out what we got to do because we got to make sure she's okay. So, but no, she's going to be in the room. She can't come to me first. She can't go. Yeah, they're not taking her to a different room. She can't come to me. She can't go to her dad. They have to make sure she's okay. It's whatever those numbers are they call out, like, you know.
It's,
so,
SCAR scores.
Yeah, her scores. So she came out at first and she was quiet, and then she let out this little cry, and they were like, you know, okay, if she cries, they let them know in advance. If she makes noise, you can cut their umbilical cord. So they said, oh, she made noise, you can cut it. He screams at the top. He's like, I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it, I don't want. So loud that literally every other doctor and nurse on the floor ran into the room because they thought something had gone horribly wrong.
That's funny.
Both of my kids, my biological kids, I was not even given the opportunity to cut the fucking umbilical cord.
You didn't get to cut?
The first time, my daughter, doctor, after the C-section, she cut it and said, oh, I forgot to ask you.
Oh, no.
Bitch. Second time, I don't even remember. I can't even remember. That's more recent. But I can't remember how it went down. But I didn't cut it.
I definitely got to cut it. I'll never forget it. That shit is stained in my fucking brain for the rest of my life.
Did you watch when they took the afterbirth out?
No, I missed that.
I watched the afterbirth part.
Yeah, when they was doing the afterbirth part.
The afterbirth on the C-section is fucking wild. First of all, C-section is wild. They literally take parts of her body out and sit it to the side. That shit's wild.
I don't want to see that.
Then the afterbirth is like she giving
birth
again.
is so glorious.
It's just crazy.
You give birth again, even if like vaginally, like you're giving birth again because you have to get this shit out.
Yeah.
And then that big gush of water that comes out.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. So
water, bloody water.
Oh, the pink fluid.
The bloody water.
So when it was weird. So the nurse was like, "Oh, you still got some time." They set us up in our room. Mind you, we wasn't in our room for 20 minutes. Tarisha had just got her epidural.
Wait a minute. Go ahead, finish your story. But look at that time. What we say?
2 hours. 152.
Oh, what we got? But we know which one is gonna be brief. We know that. Quick review.
All right, but damn. What was that?
Reese.
Oh yeah. So they just got us in
epidural.
our room, right? Just gave us the epidural. So they did the what you call that shit when she stuck her finger in there to check and to make sure everything was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cervix scrape, whatever. I don't know, some weird shit.
That is.
Yeah.
It couldn't have been.
It wasn't cervix scrape, but it was some shit.
Yeah, because
so
that
she stuck it in.
is
She's like,
thing.
"Oh, you still got some time and shit." Me and Tarisha sitting there. I turned Martin on and shit. I'm sitting there trying to set up, trying to get comfortable. I just pulled my jacket over there. She like, "Babe, I think the baby coming and shit." I'm like, "Yo, we just got here 10 minutes ago. You sure?" Because we done had like 5 false alarms. And so I'm like, "Yo, you sure, yo?" Next thing I know, I go look at the bed. I'm like, "Babe, your fucking water broke." I told you it's coming. The nurse walked in. Nurse like, "I'm not sure." "Oh no, the baby's coming." It was 10 minutes after the nurse had just left. She's like, "Oh no, she's coming." Marley bust out into the world, and Marley was a week late, so you know she definitely was just like, Oh man, but I just that shit was like alien. But at the same time, it was beautiful. I definitely was in there bawling, crying and shit like a bitch.
Tell me your homie ain't person thirst strap pictures.
Can you stop?
I'm just saying. So when you judging my man, I'm just saying.
Chill.
Chill.
Who said I was
Don't
talking
judge
about
my
you?
homie. Whoa! I said don't
talking
judge
about
my
her.
homie, nigga.
Oh, you say don't judge her?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
God damn.
What's that?
That all just was a mess.
Oh, really?
But okay, so we're gonna put a bow on this. Black women, black people. It's sad, but we have to go above and beyond to get the type of services we need until we don't have to. And that's just the reality.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucked up. Yes, but you don't want to be toe tagged
Right.
because you didn't.
Right, this is the situation.
That's what it is. What
Yeah.
it is.
Be as informed as you can be, as knowledgeable as you can be, come prepared as you can be.
What's the put a bow on that, but what's the last thing we're supposed to cover?
So, 11/30/2018, a Philadelphia artist by the name of Meek Mills
Oh yeah.
drops some fucking heat. See how I said heat? You hear
Fire.
my hottest breath? Heat. Like, heat. Listen, man. I'm gonna go first and then everybody can do their piece. Cause Shay, I'm gonna let Shay tell her story. I happen to be a person who is a Meek Mill fan.
Yep.
Back from being in my cousin's fake store front when he was doing, he's dead now. So when he was selling drugs and they was doing the rap DVDs in there and seeing Meek Mill's rap, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, remember that shit?
Shit,
Right.
dog. Rap, yo, me and they not still to this day. I was like, dog, find Cicero.
Yeah,
Find
that
Cicero.
was hot.
Everybody, like, find
Mine
Cicero.
was cheap raw.
I was about to say
It was mine was what's his name? Hollow Man T.
Hollow
Ado.
Man.
$1, what is it? $3.
$3.
Reed Dollars just had a battle
Oh yeah?
in Vegas. He battled
Reed Dollars apparently can't battle here no more. He did some shit and he's not welcome here anymore.
Oh.
I ain't know
Fucked
that.
I guess I'm not in the underground circuit.
I only know
back-
that from
but
Day One.
back
I'm
to
not in the underground circuit.
The Meek
I didn't know
Mill
about that.
Championship album. So I'm honest, and I finally feel this way about every Meek Mill album. He has never put out for me an album where I can listen completely and not skip a track. I mean, obviously the first couple times I don't skip a track. I hear every song, but then you grab the tracks you know.
Absolutely. You know where to go.
But this joint definitely has some skippable tracks. But in general, this joint is hotness.
Fire.
I'm gonna go to my favorite song on the track. What's Winning? So I text Ray, Paul, and Khalif like, yo, if you haven't heard this, make sure you listen to it. Rick Ross kills it. Jay-Z is super hot, but for some reason, Rick Ross, even though he had the shortest verse on it, I'm like, Rick Ross' verse is hot. Maybe because he wasn't afraid to say words like faggot, and it really didn't have any rhyme or reason if you really think about his verse, but it was hot for me. But then, more I listen to it, I'm like, you gotta give Jay-Z his props. He had the hottest verse on that joint. It is what it is. I still really like Rick Ross' verse on it.
I love Ross.
Like,
I love Ross.
Jay-Z.
There's no else on that song.
Yeah, it's no, exactly.
no
That's the way to
else.
look
That
at
was
it.
the first song that I listened to, and I was listening to it with a guy. He was like, honestly, but he was reading the lyrics as he's listening to it because he's really like, that's how he listens to rap albums. And he was like, so far, honestly, no flaws.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Every
flaws.
line was carefully drafted.
Honestly, and that's what he said. He was like, no flaws.
The song itself is so effing hot and just so relevant and so substantive and so good. So good. It's just so good. The album is good. It's somewhere between good and great. That song is everything for me, and honestly, I listen to it. I probably texted Ray Paul and Khalif 4 or 5 times about that song the same day because I kept listening to it over and over. Because at first, like I said, I was on Rick. Then I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it to Jay-Z. That's because I was listening to it in the moment. I'm like, yo, all right, it's hot. It's hot.
Put a good
Listen
bow
to
on
it. Listen to it. Listen to it. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. And that's my review. It's hot. It's hot. It's hot. Meek Mills, he consistently has been putting out, at least his last 2 albums have been top albums of the month, of the season. Very strong, very good, very substantive.
Strong content.
And this joint is right on par. It's great. That's all. That's all. If you don't listen to, if you don't like Meek Mills, if you don't like, any of that shit, at least listen to What's Winning.
Yeah. That was strong. That was one of the I felt like I needed to hear that.
I'm gonna go put my babies to bed real quick. Y'all finish up.
I feel like I needed to hear that What's Winning song. I felt like it was a testament to the times, testament to what I'm going through, testament to what I feel about me, just everything. And in terms of the whole album, I thought as the project went on, like I understand what Meek does. Like he puts together a project where he does something for the streets, he does music for the hip hop heads, he does music for the girls, he does shit for the clubs. And it's going to be him touching everything. So those different vibes, the way it switch up, it's just like, so I know he's going to have tracks that I'm going to skip, but it's not really because his album's not good. It's just that wasn't for me. That was for the people that like that type of music.
Right.
So I don't really take that as a knock against him. I look at it like you know what? If you're strong, if the content that I like is strong enough, nigga, I'm gonna let this shit slide. Because I like the club shit. And I like the hip hop super, lyrical, thought provoking shit like that too. So I feel like he did both. He brought the energy. I feel like he kept it consistent. Piggybacking off what Daryl said, I mean, What's Winning was out of this world. But I like Trauma, a lot.
I like Trauma.
And Oodles and Noodles Babies.
The dog literally was about to be the next thing that came out of my mouth.
Oodles and Noodles Babies was, like, that's when I felt like, whatever struggles that I had, we've all had struggles growing up, it was just personified through Oodles and Noodles Babies. So that's what I felt like I was, or I, grew up to be. Like, we had to kind of, transcend our elements and our environments to another level, and to be even walking with my freedom in my life and able to still achieve and do the things and raise my children. Like, I look at it as a gift. Every day for me is a gift, and that's why I'm super thankful. And hearing somebody tell my story without knowing my story personally, but just knowing that he kind of went through some of the same things, you can mirror that. That's a real artist to me. So, you can hear him do when he's doing something that's watered down, but you can hear when he's doing something with some, some value to it, where it just is beneficial to the listener. Is actually telling that true story. And Meek is the perfect balance of that. And that's what we all preach, just having balance. And he's able to balance his albums out. That's why it was a great project. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of that he's from Philly, and that he's able to embody what it's like to be from Philly and touch everybody in a different way, because only people from here know what people from here go through. And there's other cities that go through their own things, but you want to hear a New Orleans person talk about New Orleans, like, and their struggle is different than ours a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, all in all, salute to Meek. Awesome project. I'm behind it.
So, I didn't like Meek. That was my first. I mean, I brought it to our group chat that we listened to it, but I also said I didn't like Meek. I didn't listen to him. I didn't. I don't know. I just felt like he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do with the platform that he had. Mm-hmm. But also, I'm a person who I don't have those experiences. Like I said earlier, like I fought when I was a child. Like it wasn't a part of my life. It wasn't, so I couldn't relate. Not to say I can fully relate to him, what he's talking about on this album, but I felt it in a way that I didn't feel a lot of the stuff that he said before. What's Winning obviously is awesome, but Trauma, like Ray said, Oodles and Noodles Babies, I listened to that like on repeat at one point in time. I just thought it was such a good song. I thought it was such a solid piece of work. I think this album is such a solid piece of work. I think there's growth in it that I don't think I necessarily heard from him before. And I appreciate it. I really appreciate the album. And I'm happy that I actually took time to listen to it. And kudos to him. Kudos to him. He did it. He did it.
He pulled it off.
Definitely pulled it off. And I'm happy. Happy for him. Happy that he going, this is a Grammy album.
Hopefully,
it's a Grammy album.
You know, the masses are behind him, obviously. He's speaking on social justice issues, so that's always a plus.
But it could be a Wilder and Fury situation.
That can happen too.
But
he reconciled with Drake. He got some
that was lit for me.
features on the album. He got Jay-Z, of course. He got Rick Ross, of course. He got
Future. Everybody loves a good Future. I love Young Thug. He's there.
Of course, on there.
So yeah, I mean, he did it. This is a good album.
Project, and of course the intro's always going to be fire. The intro was fire. Honestly, if you don't like it, you just don't like good music. Like I can't really trust your judgment on music anymore. That's just what it is. And that's it. I hate to discredit you like that, but that's just what it is. But I'm proud, man. I'm proud of him. I'm proud he putting on for Philly the way he is. He was on CNN the other day. He made some good statements and, you know, not trip the anchor up, but he definitely, you know, made the anchor have to buckle down and relate. He's like, can you say, as a young black man, if I point a gun at 3 cops and they got guns in their hand, that I'm going to survive that encounter? You can't say that I'm going to survive that. You know they're going to smoke me. As justified by the story we just heard.
I was literally about to say, dog.
So we can prove that, you know, whatever claims that was made against him was a little suspect. I don't know what his real doc sheet say, so I'm not going to go into his case too much. But I was proud of that moment that he was able to go on CNN and express himself and, you know, tell his story and actually, you know, be a voice for the voiceless. And for a long time, I didn't realize that either. Like what he said, like I didn't value my life. I didn't know that, you know, I could fight for these things and people would recognize that you don't really know what you're entitled to coming from the environments we came from. Mm-hmm. Like that shit's just normal. When cops was stopping us and harassing us at a certain time in my life, like such was life. It wasn't like this is wrong, this is against the law, and you know I should expect something different or hold them to a different standard. That was just the way life was. Mm-hmm. I had to go out and explore and have conversations with people that's like, oh, that's ridiculous. They do that to you, like. So for him to say that on a national level, it was just like, yeah, like this is the shit we go through, and this is the shit we used to. These are the conditions we gotta grow up in. Y'all don't get to see it, y'all hear about it, but you don't really take us seriously when we telling you we going through these things.
Right.
So that was fire too.
Synopsis is they don't take black people seriously about much of it.
We talking about in the hospital, and now we talking about it in criminal justice.
Black people wasn't getting beat until it was on camera.
Police brutality definitely wasn't a thing until we watched Rodney King get his ass whipped on camera.
Right.
And it still wasn't a thing after that. They just.
It was a fluke.
This is a closed.
It was a fluke.
This is an isolated incident.
Right.
Right. This has never happens. We don't police these communities like that.
Facts.
But yeah, such is life.
Well, thank you to everybody who lasted the full 2 hours. We really tried.
We really tried, though. That's the thing. We tried.
Shay warned us. We gotta give Shay her respect. She warned us. He said, "Yo, it's too many topics." I'm like, you know, we just gonna we
we
and then
survived.
Ray
Y'all
Martin.
definitely was like, no, we're fine. We'll do this. We're going to get it done.
I said I'm gonna be on the clock. Nah, you lied. I didn't lie. It didn't work.
It didn't work. It didn't work. That's all. It just didn't work.
But, you know, as always, thank you for tuning in to the Rants and Tangents Podcast. Remember, the word oxymoron is in of itself an oxymoron. Oxy meaning sharp and moron meaning dog. You know, we always hope to give you this oxymoronic flow. And I'm trying to be better with the outro. So just 2 fingers like a player. Peace.
Peace.